the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman. Missouri health officials confirm a case of an extremely rare brain infection has been identified in the state.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Sean Malone. St. Louis County has set up a web page to help victims of the Westlake landfill apply for assistance through RECA. I've got that story coming up.
I'm Maria Keenan with why St. Louis public school teachers could be close to casting a vote of no confidence in the new superintendent.
President Trump prepares for tomorrow's high-stakes meeting in Alaska with Russia's Vladimir Putin.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. A mix of sun and clouds, very warm but humid today, high 89.
Cards have the day off. Very disappointing game for them yesterday. Yankees in town this weekend. College football starts 2 weeks from today. Soccer going on. It's all happening.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump has promised punishment over the war in Ukraine.
Will Russia face any consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war after your meeting on Friday? Yes, they will.
But he's downplaying expectations about the prospect of a peace deal at tomorrow's summit in Anchorage. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe on that virtual call with Volodymyr Zelensky and EU leaders.
In Washington, Trump said he told the Europeans Friday is just the start.
There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting, which will be more productive than the first, because the first is I'm going to find out where we are and what we're doing.
European leaders wanted to talk to Trump beforehand out of concern he might make concessions to Putin when they meet alone. The president admitted he may struggle to convince Putin to stop targeting Ukrainian civilians because it hasn't worked before.
President Zelensky's just met with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer in London. In Washington, D.C., protesters greeted federal agents who took up places alongside National Guard troops and local police officers.
Why are you here? You're trying to arrest innocent people? What's your purpose? What's your goal?
President Trump has suggested he'd like to maintain his oversight of the district beyond 30 days. The school year got off to a rough start for dozens of elementary students north of Austin, Texas. Their bus veered off a rural road and rolled over. Leander Police Chief Greg Minton.
Our paramedics and firefighters and police officers identified 43 total patients from the collision. Of those, 12 needed transport. One has life-threatening injuries.
The bus was equipped with state-mandated seatbelts. What a flight it was for Breeze Airways passengers.
Flight 704 from Norfolk, Virginia to Los Angeles landed in Grand Junction, Colorado, so police could arrest David Carter of L.A.
He was saying racial slurs. He was being loud.
Passengers say he was swinging his skateboard at the flight attendants, who twice failed to restrain him.
And then the linebacker dude that was sitting in 17C literally picked this man up underneath his armpits and put him down.
No one was injured. After landing in Colorado, police boarded the plane and arrested Carter. The flight landed safely at LAX 6 hours late. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Taylor Swift broke the internet when she unveiled her newest work on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's new Heights podcast last night.
Every single song is on this album for hundreds of reasons.
So many fans tuned in, 1.3 million. The YouTube stream crashed almost 2 hours in. The Life of a Showgirl will be released October 3rd. Dow futures are down 8. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit progressive.com today.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got clear skies. It's 71 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The news is sponsored for you by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. An adult Missouri resident who recently was water skiing at the Lake of the Ozarks is now in an intensive care unit at a local hospital with a confirmed case of a rare brain infection.
It's called Naegleria fowleri, a microscopic single-celled free-living amoeba that can cause a rare deadly infection of the brain. It's found in warm, fresh water, such as lakes, rivers, and ponds. State epidemiologist Nathan Kofornis.
You don't have to worry about drinking the water. Typically, less worried about, just swimming in the water, things like that, although it's possible. But typically, it involves getting a certain amount of water kind of forced up the sinuses. the nose and the sinuses. And if that water just happened to have one of these amoeba living in it, you could get this infection.
Prevention tips include holding your nose shut, using nose clips, or keeping your head above water, especially if you jump or dive into warm, fresh water. But again, Cofurnis says this is extremely rare, but the state wants everyone to be aware it's out there during the summer months. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The union representing striking Boeing workers is taking its fight to Washington.
The Machinists Union says it sent letters asking Missouri senators and representatives to pressure the company to end the stalemate. Some 3,200 members remain in the picket lines. They walked off the job after rejecting a deal earlier this month, despite it including a big wage increase. We remain ready and willing to listen to any constructive proposals from the union, said Dan Gillian, a Boeing vice president and senior St. Louis site executive, in a statement. The strike impacts production of vital defense hardware and components for Boeing's 777X commercial jets as well. The last strike at the facility was in 1996. It lasted 99 days then. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Block Inc. announces a new round of layoffs affecting 23 St. Louis-based customer service employees. A notice filed with the state confirms the job cuts, which are second here for the company this year. The parent company of Square and Cash App is reducing its staff. It was founded by St. Louis natives Jack Dorsey and Jim McKelvey.
St. Louis public school teachers, Local 420, mull over a no confidence vote in the superintendent.
With the new school year starting, Local 420 President Byron Clemens tells KMOX they had no decision in making Dr. Borichetti superintendent. That was the previous school board.
Our members are very concerned about the superintendent, and we'll have to see where we go from here. But there are concerns about the opening of schools, particularly this releasing the study at this particular time.
Clemens tells KMOX there is a petition drive circulating on the no confidence issue. As to when teachers could vote on that, still not known. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Today marks 20 years since Amanda Jones of Festus, who was 9 months pregnant, vanished after meeting with a person of interest at the Hillsborough Civic Center off Highway 21. Despite years of searching, the use of cadaver dogs on the Hillsborough Fairgrounds, and a $20,000 reward by the FBI, leads have dried up. The only person of interest in the case, Brian Westfall, had a stroke and passed away in 2021. There is a police interview tape with Westfall, but even now, investigators worry that releasing it could compromise the integrity of the ongoing investigation.
Last spring, Ashley Parmalee shot her daughter and drowned her son before driving to the Festus Police Department to confess. Jefferson County Prosecuting Attorney Tricia Stefanski said in a statement, Parmalee has entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. According to Stefanski, that plea comes after 2 separate mental health exams determined Parmalee did not understand the wrongfulness or nature of her actions at the time they occurred. According to state law, that means Parmalee cannot be held responsible for killing her children. She has been committed to the Department of Mental Health.
For the second time in Missouri, a baby has been surrendered in what's called a safe haven baby box. Earlier this month, the infant was placed in the Melville Fire Department container. These drop-off sites are designated as a place where parents can safely and anonymously surrender newborns under the state's Safe Place for Newborns law.
St. Louis County officials are warning of RECA scams as applications become available.
Daniel Spradley with St. Louis County's outreach team says residents are being contacted by people seeking payment to assist with RECA applications.
We've already seen cases where there are people saying that they are an attorney and they will fill out their applications for people. This was before the application was even out, trying to charge exorbitant fees.
Spradley says attorneys can help and charge a fee, but there is a cap.
By law, they can only charge 2% to help someone fill out an application.
The county has set up a website to help people find assistance with obtaining necessary paperwork and navigating the lengthy application. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It's 6:08. We'll check traffic and weather next.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing immunotherapy and how an innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Joining us is Dr. John DiPersio, WashU Medicine bone marrow transplant specialist with Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. DiPersio, it's great to have you on KMOX.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Your international immunotherapy clinical trial at WashU Medicine. Could you tell us about that?
Instead of using one patient's T cells to treat their own lymphoma, costing $1 million, in this situation, you can use a donor's T cells to treat multiple patients. So it changes both an approach to these diseases, but also the economics of these complicated and expensive immunotherapies.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
6:10 and time for a check of traffic and weather. I'm not sure you're going to want to hear this forecast, although you do need to. So we'll have that for you after we check the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Oh, it sounds like a refreshing breeze is headed our way. Fall-like weather. That's great. Glad to hear it. The highways are cool, at least, if you're on the interstates traveling. Westbound 64, just a little busy. Right around 364 right now, just seeing a little bit of a slowdown. There was a bigger slowdown 10 minutes ago in that construction area between K and Winghaven. Northbound 67, a little busy at Double C. On the Illinois side, some slow traffic. It keeps shifting around. Now the delays I'm seeing eastbound 64. It's in the work zone between 159 and Greenbound, but now it's 159 about midway into 50 where I'm seeing the slower traffic. Again, they have additional lane restrictions during the overnight hours through 7 a.m. there, so we expect to see that slow going periodically for another, 50 minutes or so, and then that should be back to normal. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Times of sun and clouds today. Very warm and humid, the high 89, then partly cloudy this evening. Mainly clear, warm, and sticky overnight, though 74. A heat wave starts tomorrow, last into back to school day on Monday, with AccuWeather real field temperatures between 103 and 109 each afternoon. For tomorrow, sunny, hot, and humid, high 96. More sun than clouds Saturday up to 98. Sunday and Monday will be hot with sunshine for the most part. The high both days near 100. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
72 degrees right now. Weather sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It is 6:12, and the Missouri State Auditor's Office gave Francis Howell School District a poor rating in an audit that was released at the end of last year. Now, State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick tells 97.1 that his office will be investigating why the district is paying the contract for a superintendent who will not be working a single day for the district.
It's a review of the previous findings, and then if there are any new issues that we know about, we add those to that review as well. But it's not done to auditing standards, so we won't issue a rating. We'll issue a report that basically looks at each finding and how they've done at implementing the recommendations.
Dr. Mike Dominguez, who resigned before his first day as superintendent, walked away with a payout of nearly $230,000 and then 4 days later was hired by a school district in Oklahoma.
St. Charles city leaders and the developers of a proposed data center known only right now as Project Cumulus may be in for an earful tomorrow night at an open house. County Executive Steve Ellman tells Chris and Amy the county doesn't have a role, but
I think it may very well be a good project in the bad place.
He's asking people to slow down and see if both sides make their case at the open house. He admits he didn't know much about the project until he and his staff were briefed on it recently.
After we heard the pitch, half of us thought it was a good idea and the other half thought it wasn't a good idea.
The open house is at the Foundry Arts Center from 5 to 7 p.m. tonight.
The state test results are in for the 2024-25 school year. Missouri students had the greatest gains in math and science test scores, closely followed. Fourth grade test scores declined in math and English, while fifth graders had lower math scores. During Tuesday's State Board of Education meeting, Kansas City board member Mike Matusik didn't sound impressed.
Yes, it's better than last year, but still more than half of our students are sort of basic or below basic.
Education Commissioner Carla Esslinger tells MissouriNet there is more work to be done.
We are seeing an uptick. It takes a lot to get a little bit, even a percent. Are we where we need to be? Absolutely not.
A new Missouri State Highway map, an official one, is available to the public free of charge. Chris Kelly with the Missouri Department of Transportation tells MissouriNet there is new information in this map since the last one in 21-22.
This year, we'll have brand new census updates from the 2020 Federal Census Bureau. It's been 10 years since we had a new census at the federal level. So this map actually will have all new census numbers. So that'll be the most up-to-date number for those city and county populations.
The new map also brings metro areas into greater detail and features historic trail and route markers, rest area, and roadside park locations. To request a map, call 888-ASK MoDOT.
I'm calling that number.
You are?
Well, I don't have a map in my car, and I was 2 hours outside of St. Louis with zero phone reception, and I had no idea where I was. And I thought, why do I not have a map? Where do you get a map these days? So 888-ASK MoDOT.
I never even thought about it. I just go with GPS.
I do too, until suddenly you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no service.
Let's get some maps going, okay? Let's get Debbie a map. 888-ASK MoDOT. We need a map to success for the Cardinals. They have failed again against the Colorado Rockies. They lost yesterday 6-5, and if you turn the game off or walked away from the game, as I did, thinking the game was in hand, I was actually at the game, sitting in the seats. Cardinals are up 5-2, looking good, and then they gave up an extra run. It's 5-3. After 6 quality innings for Michael McGreevy, he gave up 3 runs, and things seemed fine. But Kyle Leahy gave up a run, and now it's 5-4. You let the Rockies back into the game, and if you don't score and you don't put them away, these teams are playing with something to prove. The Rockies are testing young players. Hunter Goodman is a good young player. He's actually an all-star, and Jojo Romero was trying to close the game out for his 4th save yesterday, and Goodman came into the game off the bench as a pinch hitter. He's a right-handed power hitter with a runner on. Here's the call.
And a dangerous pitch here to a home run hitter on 3-1. The 3-1 for Goodman. A swing and a high fly ball, deep center field. Back goes Scott. He's at the wall. It's gone. A 2-run homer, and the Rockies lead 6-5.
They lost 2 games to the Rockies again. 4 out of 6 to Colorado, the worst team in baseball, at 32-88. That means 1/8 of Colorado's wins have come against the Cardinals, and they shut them out twice. The only 2 shutouts Colorado's had all year. The Cardinals are a 500 team at 61-61, and their manager is Ollie Marmol.
A big challenge. That's what we just got done talking about inside. Every time we got the leadoff guy on, basically scored. And it cost us today. We've done a good job of that over the last several weeks. Not so much today. Yeah.
Well, with JoJo, especially the last however many months, it's one of those where it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And to your point, he's done a really nice job. And outings like this are going to happen. We know what their bench looks like. We know they're going to unload. Whether you do it in the 7th inning, you're going to see that same lineup of guys coming off the bench, or you wait till the 9th. It's going to happen. You just have to not give in. And unfortunately, you look at the leadoff walk that kind of sets everything up there, where you have to kind of give in a little bit to Goodman. Too good of a pitch there. Hits it a long ways. Fell behind him, 3-1. That didn't help. But JoJo's done an incredible job, man. It's going to happen from time to time. Our pen has been our strength. Day off tomorrow, you go to it. But unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Day off indeed today, and the Yankees will be here tomorrow. They're only a game up in their AL wildcard race. That's what's on deck, sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have, the very best.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I love St. Louis Public Library. They do such an amazing job. I did get an update from CEO of the library, Waller McGuire. We'll hear that a little bit later this morning. They did have 2 branches severely damaged by the May 16th tornado, the Cabanne and Julia Davis branch, and those are still closed. But other than that, everything else up and running, and they have so many unlimited possibilities that are available to you with your St. Louis Public Library card. Did you know that you don't have to mess with that stupid printer in your house anymore? I threw mine in the garbage dumpster. I hated that thing. I just print at the library because you get $5 a month of free printing, and you can even print in color on canvas or in 3D. They have recording rooms. They've got embroidery and sewing machines. Check out the creative experience. I mean, it's not just about books, although they have millions of books as well. By the way, join us on Book Chat with Debbie Monterrey and St. Louis Public Library. That's our group on Facebook. We have more than 1,600 members. And earlier this week, I interviewed best-selling author Karen Slaughter, an exclusive for Book Chat members, and you can see it if you join us today. St. Louis Public Library is St. Louis's original search engine, slpl.org.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM 104.1 FM, KMOX.
620, Roger Brand, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things look good for most everybody out on the highways this Thursday morning, Tom. As traffic reports the service of Amon, Gantner, and Capriano. The only place we're seeing delays, of course, is eastbound 64. It shifts around a bit. Right now, there's a backup approaching 159. And it opens up before you get to Highway 50, exit 14 there. So it's not even quite midway into the work zone through Green Mountain Road right now, but it is a little backed up at the front end of it there as you approach it. Westbound 64 between K and Winghaven, the slow going we had there thinned out. Some of that road work out through Lake St. Louis could be going on until 7 this morning, but it is westbound. And right now, I don't see any delays through there. It looks like we have some heavy traffic on northbound Route 3, Queenie up through Monsanto. Just getting a little busy there. Could have been a train crossing momentarily, or maybe it just got there. We'll keep tabs on that for you. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Amon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret at Amon, Gantner, and Capriano. I was suddenly widowed at 41. We had a will. Do you? Amon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com. Choice of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely on advertising.
It's going to be very, very, very hot. So just keep that in mind. If you've got outdoor things to do, today's the day you want to get that done because it'll be sun and clouds, humid, high of 89 degrees. That's the coolest day we're going to see through at least Monday. Then it starts heating up tomorrow. We'll be at 96, 98 on Saturday, around 100 Sunday and Monday. But the real field temperatures can be as hot as 109. Right now, though, it's nice out there. Clear skies and 71 degrees.
As KMOX told you at the top of the hour, Missouri health officials have confirmed a case of an extremely rare brain-eating amoeba. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer found out more about the infection when he talked with epidemiologist Nathan Katfornis with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
The infection we're speaking about is actually caused by an amoeba, which is a single-celled animal or organism, however you want to term it. But so not a bacteria, not a virus, but actually an amoeba. And it causes a condition known as primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, which is a long, complicated term for essentially, like you said, a brain infection. And unfortunately, it's a very serious illness. Thankfully, a very rare illness. But it is historically fatal in about 97% of cases. And like I said, it's pretty rare in the United States. For the last 62 years, we've only averaged something under 3 cases a year. So not common, but extremely serious when somebody does get it.
Tell us about the local case.
So obviously I have to be careful sharing details, but this does involve an adult who was reportedly water skiing at the Lake of the Ozarks, and that's kind of what we can share about the specifics. Again, it is an extremely serious condition when people are hospitalized. So, one thing I can share is the method of exposure, the way people get this. You don't have to worry about drinking the water. Typically, less worried about just swimming in the water, things like that. Although it's possible, but typically it involves getting a certain amount of water kind of forced up the sinuses, the nose and the sinuses, and that. If that water just happened to have one of these amoeba living in it, you could get this infection. But again, if we think about how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are using our lakes and streams, rivers, things like that on a regular basis, and this is an extremely, extremely rare infection.
Is this just being found in the Lake of the Ozarks, or could it be in other Missouri lakes and rivers?
So we really that's one thing that's a great question. I think we really want people to be aware that this could really be in any freshwater source. And it's more common in warm weather months and places. So end of summer is kind of the peak time period for it, because it's an organism that likes warm water. It's going to reproduce and be present in higher numbers when the water is warm. So the states that usually have the most problem with this are places like Texas and Florida. It's been very rare in Missouri and more northern states. But if we had to pick a time where we'd be most concerned for it, it would be this late summer period where the temperatures are hot and the water is pretty warm. And but really, yeah, not just Lake of the Ozarks. It could be any freshwater body of water in Missouri or elsewhere.
Do you have any suggestions on how to stay safe from this?
Yeah, I think the primary thing, and this is echoed by CDC's guidance, is just that you really have to. I mean, for those who are really concerned about this, the best thing they could do is stay out of the water during this warmer time of year. And the other option is if you do participate in water activities, you really want to avoid getting that water up your nose. So some ways you could do that is there are devices out there that kind of clip your nose shut or plug your nose. So that would be an option for people that are maybe skiing or doing other things where they're diving under the water, things like that.
What are the symptoms?
Sure. So that's a great question. It starts off with like headache, nausea, vomiting, fever. So kind of generic, but it's pretty rapidly progresses to changes in mental status, and most patients will have a seizure and possibly loss of consciousness, be in a coma, things like that. Normally anywhere between 1 to 9 days after people get exposed to it in the water, then the usual is about 5 days later, people become ill. And then unfortunately those that acquire it usually get like death can occur within about 5 days in a lot of cases.
You said it's 97% of the time fatal. Is there a treatment of some sort?
So there are treatment courses recommended by CDC, and they are currently, in more recent years, I would say, recommending some experimental therapies for it. But again, so there's some hope there, but I think it's also because it's so rare, they don't get to test those things very often. So there are treatments and there have been survivors. It's just, thankfully a very rare condition.
Nathan Kafornis, an epidemiologist with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
It is 6:27 and the time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Tim Gamma and Tom Gamma. I could not ask for better partners in tree care. They have been looking at trees at our home for well over a decade. They've been taking care of homes and businesses in St. Louis for a long, long time. Their father, Frank, started the business in 1954. Family owned and operated, known for quality and integrity. The customers of Gamma Tree Experts like those things: professionalism, responsiveness. Who doesn't? You like doing business with a company where quality is of prime importance. And that's what they're all about. The arborists at Gamma Tree are passionate about trees, and they understand how much your trees mean to you. They have the knowledge and technical experience to provide that tree care. We're talking about board-certified master arborists, horticulturists, urban foresters. Your trees are living assets, and they need ongoing care to thrive. Gamma Tree Experts is that tree care company. You've seen them all over town. Now it's time to give them a call. 314-725-6159. Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my mom! I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is 6:30, and right now we've got clear skies, 71 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman, Roger Brand, and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, getting out and getting going isn't a big deal so far this morning, folks. If you're getting out right now, they're just clear to stall eastbound 70 before air flights. If you're headed to the airport, things look okay for you on eastbound Highway 70 from all the way out in Wentzville. The only delays I'm seeing in the Wentzville area, a little bit of a heavy stretch westbound 64 just past Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Again, that construction zone on the westbound side. They could still be out there till about 7 this morning, so about another 30 minutes or so there. Northbound 55, seeing a little bit of a heavy spot there between Bayless and Weber. Eastbound 64, that is a little bit of a jam, both sides of 159, and then it opens up, of course, that roadwork zone in through Greenmount Road also until 7 this morning. And still have heavy traffic both ways on Route 3 between Queenie and Monsanto. Northbound's a little more congested, obviously, but not a solid jam there right now. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast from Joe Lundberg. Hot. It's going to be real feel temperatures starting tomorrow into Monday, 103 to 109 each afternoon. Today's the last day of relief. A high of only 89, warm and humid, times the sun and clouds, low 74 tonight. Right now, it's 72 downtown at the Arch.
Losing your home, losing your possessions, and your sense of safety is already traumatic. And the threat of losing electricity on top of that is unacceptable.
St. Louis Aldermanic Board President Megan Green, along with the Sierra Club, making a plea outside of Ackerman, Missouri headquarters to issue a moratorium on turning people's electricity off in the tornado zone. Ackerman's Connie Taylor addressed the shutoffs with Maria Kina, saying Ackerman made $1 million contribution to the community and $25,000 in energy relief to cool down St. Louis following the tornado.
Why now turn the electricity off?
So the main thing is being able to use this time to connect with our customers, to have direct conversations, whether they're calling us directly or calling our trusted partners, to figure out how to benefit from the significant financial support.
I don't think that's an answer to the question, though. How is it that Ackerman thinks it's okay at this point? I understand there are dollars out there. I know how Cool Down St. Louis helps the community. But how is it that Ackerman justifies turning people's electricity off when they've gone through this already with the tornado? They still haven't recovered. There's been a rate increase now, and we're going into another heat wave this weekend.
So again, our commitment is to work with our customers to provide solutions that are workable, that are viable, that are helpful.
When the tornado tore through predominantly black neighborhoods in North St. Louis, the staff of Action St. Louis and For the Culture STL jumped into action, launching the People's Response. They're now out with their report on the work done over 6 weeks. More than 10,000 volunteers stepped up with People's Response coordinating from their hub at the O'Fallon Park YMCA to the hardest hit areas. More than 21,000 meals were served. More than 3,000 volunteers worked on debris removal. More than 5,000 supply packages were delivered.
The executive summary points out that the incredible grassroots effort was the result of years of community organizing, infrastructure building, and leadership development in black neighborhoods that have suffered through generations of disinvestment, neglect, and structural inequality. They say while the People's Response met 100% of food and supply needs, housing and shelter needs remain 100% unmet. That's more than 2,400 households, and that homes once deemed repairable are deteriorating into unlivable conditions.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live, it's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News & World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour and complimentary lunch, or to learn more about our upcoming charity golf tournament benefiting the VFW National Home. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
With the heat we have here in St. Louis, just a note, most air conditioners aren't set or able to handle 100 degrees without running constantly. So before you freak out and think your air conditioner is bad, here's a few tips. If you don't have ceiling fans in your bedrooms, you can get pedestal fans and put them in your room. Keep those running all the time. On a second-story house, put one pedestal fan on top of your steps and blow it into the foyer area up high so it's cooling the heat as it's coming up and circulating the air. If you have an attic fan, simple, quick fix, plastic bag, cut it up, and duct tape, because what's happening is it's sucking in all your attic air and the heat and humidity from the outside. Try those things before you call anybody or you call me. But if you did that, please call me, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. God bless.
It is 6:36 and time for your money report, sponsored for you by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
Good morning. We're hearing about job cuts at Oracle. Sources say the software and database maker is cutting jobs in its cloud unit to control costs amid heavy spending on AI infrastructure. All this as Oracle shifts operations from Seattle to Nashville. Instead of looking at jobs data, how about looking at the fast food business as an economic indicator? People are cutting back on breakfast. McDonald's says breakfast has become the weakest time of day in terms of sales. Taco Bell is doing well with that cheesy bean and rice burrito for $1.49. And the Business Week Daily Newsletter points out Sweet Green, which is struggling, is increasing its chicken and tofu portions by 25% and offering $13 limited time bowls to get more customers in the door. And Apple is planning a comeback in artificial intelligence. Sources say this includes new devices, including robots, a smart speaker, and a home security camera. That tabletop robot targeted for 2027 is the centerpiece of the AI strategy. With your money report, I'm Denise Pellegrini with Bloomberg Business on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. You really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. For over 30 years, St. Louis and St. Charles families have trusted Suntrup Buick GMC. As a proud family-owned dealership, we offer more than just great deals. We offer peace of mind. At Suntrup Buick GMC, you'll always find a huge selection of inventory to choose from, unmatched customer service, and every vehicle comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain protection program. Visit in store or online at suntrupbuickgmc.com. Save more at Suntrup Buick GMC.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:40. Time for us to check the roadways and the weather. We'll start with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's a little busier, but not bad, Debbie, on the area highways. This traffic reports the service of Saks Financial. There's still some volume on eastbound 64 in the Metro East right now. The delays approaching 159. Once you get through there, it looks better over to Greenmount Road. On the Illinois side, we still have delays on Route 3 at Monsanto where we had a train crossing there. Southbound is heavy at 8th Street. Northbound, not a solid jam, but it's pretty heavy from Judith all the way up to that point. Northbound 55, Bales up to River to Pear. That's kind of slow. Eastbound 30, Mauer to 270, a little busy. North 270 starting to slow at Ladue. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down to 64 is heavy as well. That ramp to westbound 70, of course, closed. I thought it was through September. It's through October. So in a couple more months to deal with that closure of the southbound 61 ramp to westbound 70. You just go east on 70 to A to double back for your alternate route interstate wise. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Hey, it's Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial, retiresafestl.com. Have you ever wondered what it's like to work with a financial advisor? Are you in your 50s or early 60s and really haven't talked to anybody about how you retire? Give me a call today. Check out our website, retiresafestl.com.
It is 6:41 and time for us to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. I've just been warning people, Joe, that if they have things to do outside, today would be probably their best day to do it.
Oh, without question, Debbie. I think temperatures today will struggle to get out of the 80s. It's the last time I'm going to say that until maybe the second half of next week. Sun and clouds today weighted more toward the sunshine. Very warm and humid, but again, this is going to be quote-unquote comfortable compared to what's coming. 89 or high. Partly cloudy this evening. Clear overnight. Warm and sticky mid-70s. Tomorrow, sunny. It gets hot and it gets humid. Our high 96, and I think we're going to be that or a degree or two higher on Saturday with more sun and clouds, and maybe add another degree or two to that for Sunday and Monday with blazing sunshine, and the heat may linger through Tuesday before backing off later next week. Right now, 70 at St. Peter, 71 in Florissant, mainly clear, and 74 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is now 6:42. Not sure if you've heard, but Taylor Swift announced a new album titled The Life of a Showgirl, and then she got on the New Heights podcast hosted by her boyfriend Travis Kelce and his brother Jason. They talked about the process Taylor went through getting her master's back, how she and Travis met, their first date, how they handled the gossip, and on and on. At the end, Taylor finally revealed the cover of the album that had been previously blurred in promos and read the titles of the 12 songs to fans and gave some exciting news about a guest artist Swifties were hoping for.
Back cover is where we find the 12 tracks. Last track, track 12, the title track, The Life of a Showgirl, featuring Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter!
It comes out October 3rd, and this album is about what was going on behind the scenes in my inner life during this tour.
Rascal Flatts is going on the road again next year for their Life as a Highway tour. The country legends announced they're hitting 21 new tour stops. They'll be stopping in St. Louis on January 17th. Lauren Elena and Chris Lane will be the opening acts for that. The first block of tickets will go on sale tomorrow at rascalflats.com.
Sometimes I feel like Jesse James, still trying.
The 2025 class of the Kennedy Center Honors announced, and as chairman of the, I should say, new self-appointed chairman of the Kennedy Center, President Trump added a highly personal stamp to this year's announcement of recipients. He named country music star George Strait, actor Sylvester Stallone, singer Gloria Gaynor, and the rock band Kiss, along with actor-singer Michael Crawford, as this year's Kennedy Center nominees or awardees. Trump has made revamping the Kennedy Center and what he calls its woke agenda the center of an ongoing push to overhaul cultural institutions like the National Endowment of the Humanities and the Smithsonian Museums. An historic document has been returned to its rightful owner.
His conquests were legendary. Even Neil Young sang about them. Nearly 5 centuries after Hernán Cortés signed it and someone swiped it from Mexico's National Archives, the FBI has returned a priceless manuscript page. The theft was discovered in 1993 while Mexican archivists were microfilming their collection of documents signed by Cortés. Mexico requested help from the FBI art crime team last year. The agency isn't saying where they found it, but New York City Police, the Justice Department, and the Mexican government were all involved. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It's the second Cortez document returned. The first, a 16th century letter written by the Spanish conquistador, was returned 2 years ago.
We've been seeing this all season long. The Cardinals struggling against the poor teams in Major League Baseball. They had some success. They went to the Dodgers, beat them 2 out of 3 in L.A. The Cubs came into town. Cardinals took care of them, won that series 2 out of 3. The lowly Colorado Rockies, 32 wins, 88 losses this season, came into St. Louis and got beat in the first game. But if you watch that first game, Colorado could have easily won it. It took a Brendan Donovan pinch hit, extra base hit to drive in 2 to flip that game around and win it. Otherwise, the Cardinals could have gotten swept. That's right. They were shut out in the second game on Tuesday, and yesterday in a day game, they had a 5-2 lead on the Rockies and then gave it away. Michael McGreevy gave up a run. Kyle Leahy gave up a run. It was 5-4. Into the 9th inning comes Jojo Romero to close the game out. Rockies get a leadoff man on. Those walks come back to burn you. And off the bench, here comes a pinch hitter, their all-star, Hunter Goodman.
And a dangerous pitch here to a home run hitter on 3-1. The 3-1 for Goodman. A swing and a high fly ball, deep center field. Back goes Scott. He's at the wall. It's gone. A 2-run homer, and the Rockies lead 6-5.
And they go on to win by that count, 6-5. The Cardinals had a 5-2 lead in the 5th inning. They did not score in the 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th innings. That is not going to get the job done. They lose 2 out of 3, 4 out of 6 to the Rockies. That's right. The Rockies with 32 wins, 1/8 of those came against the Cardinals this season. The Cardinals get the day off today. They host the Yankees this weekend at Busch Stadium. First game tomorrow night at 7:15. The Yankees are desperate right now. They are clinging to the final wild card spot in the American League. They're 7 games over 500 and a game in front of the Guardians for that final spot. The Cardinals are 4 games out in the National League wild card and a 500 club at 61-61. College football is 2 weeks away. Mizzou will host Central Arkansas 2 weeks from tonight, and Illinois will play the following night at home against Western Illinois. A lot to be determined. Those 2 teams, Illinois ranked 12th in the country, Mizzou unranked. We'll look at both of them moving forward. College football coming up at 7:15. I'm Tom Ackerman, Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Growing gardens, making memories. St. Louis Composting is a great company. I was mentioning yesterday you can buy some of that Missouri Botanical Garden bags of soil from St. Louis Composting. That's a nice little perk working with them. All you have to do is go to stlcompost.com. You can see it all for yourself. Order online. Why are you going to the store to buy bags of mulch and bags of soil? You can do it from St. Louis Composting right here in St. Louis. They are number one when it comes to compost, soil, and mulch. They transform organic yard waste into compost. We're talking about branches, leaves, grass clippings, and more. This is a 6-month static composting process, the largest and most trusted compost provider in the St. Louis area. You can go to stlcompost.com to learn more, or you can visit any of their 9 locations. If you have a truck or trailer, you can just back it up and pick up your order in any of those locations. stlcompost.com.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:50 and the sun is shining brightly. It's not going to melt you into a puddle, at least not today, but no guarantees about after today. We'll have details on the forecast coming up. Right now, details on your ride-in from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's getting busier on North 270, Debbie. If you're headed that way right now, North 270 is bogging down, approaching Manchester all the way up to Ladue. Southbound coming down into the work zone at Ladue looks okay. For now, southbound 61 is thinned out, hitting 64 or 70, and they both look good from the split there across the Missouri River bridges as you come out of St. Charles County. Northbound 55 just sort of heavy as you go from Bayless up to River de Pere, the typical slow stuff there. Eastbound 30 looking better, approaching 270. Still seeing the delays on Route 3. We're actually backed up from Jerome now up to Monsanto in pockets. Southbound's a little slow through the area. Train crossing was the culprit. Westbound 64 just a little off the pace, passing Route 3, getting to the Poplar Street Bridge. And for now, eastbound 64 headed through 159 Greenmount. Everything looks to be okay. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Jack in the Box.
Spending 2 hours staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
Hot. That's the weather forecast for this weekend. High 96 on Friday, 98 Saturday, near 100 on Sunday and Monday. That is a heat wave. Tomorrow into Monday, AccuWeather real field temperatures peaking between 103 and 109 each afternoon. Joe Lundberg says for today, sun and clouds, warm and humid, and a high of 89 degrees. Clear late, warm and sticky, low 74 tonight. Right now, it's 71 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:52. The news continues. St. Louis County has established a one-stop shop For those seeking information about and assistance with the RECA application process, here's County Executive Sam Page.
The role of county government will be to educate folks on the federal program, how to apply, and what you need to do to apply, and then to be one source of documents.
Page says the expectation is around $4 billion will come to county residents victimized by the Westlake landfill in Coldwater Creek. He could not give an estimated date, though, of when victims could expect to begin seeing the money.
Closing 12 state schools that serve the severely disabled will provide more opportunities and strengthen education for those students. That's what Missouri Board of Education President Mary Schrag said this week as they voted with little discussion to shut down those 12 schools next year. That includes the Gateway Hubert Wheeler School in St. Louis, which was already under a temporary emergency closure because of staffing issues. Missouri is the only state in the nation still operating separate day schools for special ed. But 85% of parents polled by consultants said this system met their child's needs better.
Financial tech company Block laying off another 23 remote workers in Missouri, according to a notice filed with the state. Most of the positions affected are customer support specialists. The move follows 67 local job cuts earlier in the year. Block, co-founded as Square by St. Louis natives Jack Dorsey and Jim McKelvey, is trimming its workforce as part of a global cost-saving plan.
A St. Louis favorite barbecue restaurant is closed after a sinkhole opened up.
This is Stuart McMillan in Midtown, where MSD workers continue to dig out the crumbled road next to Pappy's Smokehouse. The hole that opened up is about 4 to 5 feet deep in parts, and it collapsed, crushing a sewer pipe after a delivery truck drove over this weak part of the road. The rear axle broke off, but has since been towed out. Pappy's co-owner, John Matthews.
We'll need a little cushion to clean some stuff up, but fingers crossed we'll be rolling again by Friday. Fingers crossed.
For now, there's a sign outside Pappy's directing people to their sister store, Bogart Smokehouse in Soulard, as if to say, it's okay, you can still have barbecue today.
Oh, and that's good barbecue over at Bogart's, let me tell you.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Irvin Magic Johnson, one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. He is 66 today.
Local celebrity birthday sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Betty Zinn and Jan Verzal from the Life Group, Doug Moore, Ava Ehrlich. Happy birthday, Jenny Jenkins Beard from Aunt Carol and the family. Don Nattier, happy 61st to Denise Vest McCrummen. Kevin Grubb Sr. is celebrating today, and happy birthday wishes going out to our friend Molly Highland.
There are a couple of actor birthdays.
Now, when it was a young man,
Steve Martin.
Thought he'd see people stand in line to see the boy. Didn't you love this song? Oh, my God.
Oh, it's a classic. I just want to hear you go.
I could do the entire song still.
Steve Martin's 80. 80.
And he doesn't really look any older than he did when he was 40.
I know. You could say the same. Actually, she looks even younger than that. She's 59.
These are my husband's drawings.
Halle Berry.
Lawrence.
59 years young
He got
today.
himself electrocuted.
Mila Kunis. Another good one.
Stephen, I'm here to tell you I've made my decision. I choose you.
She is 42 today. It is 6:56.
It's the best birthday ever.
McKelvey Homes, they're 127. 1898 is when they were founded. McKelvey Homes. Where do you want to live in St. Louis? You want to live in St. Louis County? St. Louis County offers a great mix of suburban charm, top schools, easy access to city amenities, diverse neighborhoods, beautiful parks, plenty of dining and shopping options. St. Louis County, perfect for families, professionals, and retirees. Like a quiet retreat or a lively community, you can find it in St. Louis County. They have something for everyone, and McKelvey Homes is all over St. Louis County. Just outside of St. Louis, St. Charles County, a blend of suburban comfort and access to amenities as well. An ideal place to put down roots. It's St. Charles County, and they have homes all throughout there. They have custom homes everywhere, from Afton to Dardine Prairie to you name it. McKelveyhomes.com is where you can see all of these great homes and locations. Where do you want to live in St. Louis? Rock Hill, Wildwood, Olivet, Creve Coeur, Cottleville, Chesterfield, all over the place. It's McKelvey Homes. Move up to McKelvey, McKelveyHomes.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com. Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based on advertising.
That baby's gone.
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow.
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible.
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it.
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game. That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Let's get a check of the roadways at 6:59 with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have heavy traffic. It's doing better on Route 3, Debbie, but northbound Route 3, north of Judith, Queenie, all the way up to the Papa Street Bridge is generally slow from a recent train crossing. Northbound 55, you're busy from Bayless up to Weber, then it opens up. If you're on North 270, let's call it Doherty Ferry, all the way up to Ladue, now is heavy. Eastbound 70, Lake St. Louis through Bryan Road to Highway K is slow. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The world is watching as President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin gear up for tomorrow's summit in Alaska. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who's not invited, shook hands with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The two leaders hugged before they met in London this morning. In Moscow, Putin told a meeting of top officials he thinks the U.S. administration is making energetic and sincere efforts to end the fighting in Ukraine. Correspondent Nancy Cordes is in Anchorage.
President Trump tempered expectations, saying his sit-down with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow is just a prelude to trilateral talks that will include Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Now, there may be no second meeting because if I feel that it's not appropriate to have it because I didn't get the answers that we have to have, then we're not going to have a second meeting.
Trump's new framing came amid a full court press from European leaders who met with him via video call Wednesday and urged him to push for a full ceasefire first and haggle over Russian-held territory later.
The Northeast is drying out from serious flash flooding a day after 4 people died in severe flooding in Tennessee. 6 inches of rain fell in just a few hours near Brenda Bryan's home in Chattanooga.
A rescue boat came and got me off my front porch and my 2 dogs and took me to safety.
A couple and their child were killed when a tree fell on their car. Another person died when he was swept away by the floodwaters. A Breeze flight from Norfolk to L.A. made an emergency landing in Grand Junction, Colorado, after a drunken passenger shouting racial slurs waved a skateboard at the crew, then broke free from his restraints.
Thank you!
Cheers went up in the cabin when another passenger came to the rescue.
The linebacker dude that was sitting in 17C literally picked this man up underneath his armpits and put him down.
A federal appeals court has ruled President Trump can withhold billions of dollars in foreign aid. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
The big issue here is whether Congress will push back by having the Government Accountability Office challenge what Trump has done. So far, that hasn't happened.
New research finds that if you can beat one addiction, you may very well be successful at giving up another bad habit. CBS's Michael George explains.
The National Institutes of Health found people who gave up cigarettes had a 42% improved chance of overcoming substance use disorder for alcohol and other substances. The study's authors say smoking cessation programs could be used to help people beat other addictions.
Dow futures down 11. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
It is 7:04 right now. We've got a few clouds, but mostly sunny skies downtown, 71 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We'll get that full forecast for you. It is going to be very hot today. In fact, we are going to be in a heat wave tomorrow through Monday, according to AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Missouri health officials confirm a case of extremely rare brain infection has been identified in the state.
State epidemiologist Nathan Kofarnis.
This does involve an adult who was reportedly water skiing at the Lake of the Ozarks, and that's kind of what we can share about the specifics. It is an extremely serious condition when people are hospitalized.
Fatal in 97% of the cases. It's called Naegleria fowleri, a microscopic single-celled free-living amoeba that can cause a rare deadly infection of the brain. It's found in warm, fresh water, such as lakes, rivers, and ponds. Best prevention tips include holding your nose shut, using nose clips, or keeping your head above water when taking part in activities in bodies of warm, fresh water, especially if you jump or dive into the water. But again, Kofarnis says this is extremely rare, but the state wants everyone to be aware it's out there during the summer months. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The news is sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. Today marks 20 years since Amanda Jones of Festus vanished after meeting with a person of interest at the Hillsborough Civic Center off Highway 21. She was 9 months pregnant at that time. Despite years of searching, the use of cadaver dogs on the Hillsborough Fairgrounds and a $20,000 reward, leads have dried up. The only person of interest in the case, Brian Westfall, had a stroke and passed away in 2021. There is a police interview tape with Westfall, but even now investigators say they worry releasing it would compromise the integrity of the ongoing investigation.
For the second time in Missouri, a baby has been surrendered in what's called a safe haven baby box. Earlier this month, the infant was placed in the Melville Fire Department container. These drop-off sites are designated as a place where parents can safely and anonymously surrender newborns under the state's Safe Place for Newborns law.
Should Senators Schmidt and Hawley get involved with the Boeing strike?
The Union for the 3,200 striking workers is urging Missouri's federal lawmakers to intervene. The International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers walked off the job this month, halting production of military hardware like the F-15 fighter jet. The union, which rejected an earlier offer, wants U.S. senators to press the company to return to the bargaining table. Boeing says it remains ready to listen to constructive proposals from the union. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Also, this morning, we have American Federation of Teachers Local 420 contemplating on a no confidence vote in St. Louis Public Schools. Superintendent Millicent Borichetti.
This comes as Dr. Borichetti announced a potential plan to close 37 St. Louis public schools. That's something Local 420 spokesman Byron Clemens says isn't sitting well with the union. And Clemens adds there are also concerns about the audit revealing some practices from the old regime are being carried over to the new administration. That is one of several concerns leading to this no confidence vote.
There is a petition drive, but we're following the concerns of our union members. That's what we do. And as soon as they've taken any action, we will be public with it.
As to when the no confidence vote could come, that's still not been disclosed. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
Coming up, we are going to take a look at traffic and weather and the latest from the Francis Howell School District. It's 7:08.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B, in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So, if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you a check of traffic and weather. It is 7:10, and Roger Brand is joining us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's not bad out there right now, Debbie. A couple of slowdowns primarily, and that's about it. On eastbound Highway 70, you'll find it slow from Lake St. Louis Boulevard most of the way into Highway K. If you're taking eastbound 64 out of St. Charles County, it's just a little bogged down briefly, right just immediately east of Winghaven, maybe a quarter mile at most, and then you're back on the go. If you're on northbound 270, slow stuff approaching Manchester up to Ladue. South 270 between Ladue and 64, that's a little busier. Eastbound 30, just some heavier traffic between West Watson and Mauer, but east of there, it looks good up the hill to 270 right now. Northbound Highway 55 between Bales and Weber, again, just a little slow. Seeing a little bit of a backup on northbound 67 at Double C coming out of the Jefferson County area. Looks okay eastbound 64 past 159 now. The roadwork's been wrapped up. Westbound 64 across the Poplar, you're back on track as well. So, again, not too much to worry about. They were wrapping up a crash. They were doing a washdown. I really don't see much in the way of delays. Highway 100 at Highway AT over there in Pacific, just west Pacific near 44. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, a heat wave starts tomorrow and lasts into Monday with AccuWeather real field temperatures peaking between 103 and 109 each afternoon. For today, times of sun and clouds, quite warm and humid, high 89. Tonight, partly cloudy early, then clear late, warm and sticky, low 74. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, hot and humid, high 96. Saturday, more sun than clouds, very hot and humid, high 98. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, sunny, 71 in Florissant, 71 in St. Peters, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:12. The Francis Howell School District will continue to be under the microscope of Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick.
We did an audit on Francis Howell last year that came out at the end of the year, and they got a poor rating, which is the lowest possible outcome for one of our audits.
Dr. Mike Dominguez was supposed to take over as superintendent of Francis Howell on July 1st, but instead he walked away from the position with a $229,000 contract payout. 4 days later, he was hired by a school district in Oklahoma. Fitzpatrick tells 97.1 his office is looking into that.
A lot of questions I think that taxpayers deserve to get answers to.
The organization behind an initiative to improve third grade reading levels in the region is expanding their $1 million effort to more schools. Dr. Brandy Chin and the organization The Opportunity Trust is looking for more schools to join the Emerson Literary Challenge.
We'll connect them with the latest research, best practices in literacy instruction, really aiming to bridge the gap between the science of reading research that's really popular right now and practical implementation.
Dr. Chin says the practical aspects include in-school visits from experts. They are seeking for public schools for the challenge.
Missouri's K-12 public school students scored better overall on the latest end-of-year test scores. They had the greatest gains in math and science, with the exceptions of fourth graders having lower math and English scores, and fifth graders having lower math scores. During Tuesday's State Board of Education meeting, Education Commissioner Carla Esslinger said literacy and attendance are probably the biggest factors holding back scores.
Are we where we need to be? Absolutely not. I want our kids to knock the top off of that assessment, but we are absolutely want to show that the things that are in place right now, we're seeing a little bit of a trend up, so that's a good thing. But we're diving into more. What is it we need to do more so?
A newly released Missouri highway map features updated population data, detailed metro inserts, and highlights miles of state highways. Chris Kelly with the Missouri Department of Transportation tells Missouri Net there is still a high demand for the paper map.
From 21-22, we did a reprint of that map because we had run so low and had a lot of demand. This first print run for this new one is $675,000.
To request a map, contact a local MoDOT district office or call 888-ASK-MoDOT. Tonight at Hot Shots in Wentzville, it's the St. Louis City Soccer Showcase. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. We will carry it live. Jen Cease will be with Matt Pauley for the first hour. Jay Reed of St. Louis City SC will be on site signing autographs. There are tickets to give away as well. St. Louis City SC celebrated every Thursday with the St. Louis City Soccer Showcase. Jay Reed of City on site at Wentzville's Hot Shots location tonight from 6 to 8. Nice way to gather with your friends, soccer fans, and have a good time together. It's 7:15.
With Mike Claiborne, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals suffered a tough loss on Tuesday night to Kyle Freeland and the Colorado Rockies 3-0. Then yesterday, the series wrap-up favored the Cardinals by 3 runs at one point, only to have the Rockies put the leadoff man on 7 out of 9 innings, and they had 6 innings in a row. In the 9th inning, a leadoff walk followed by a Goodman home run. The Rockies beat the Cardinals 6-5.
Well, you touched on it. Getting the leadoff man on so often in the game yesterday really did the Cardinals in, but that walk in the 9th inning spelled trouble, and Colorado cashed in on the Cardinals, and now they have to come back and figure out how to beat the Yankees tomorrow.
The Yankees are coming on for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night with Andre Palante doing the start. The Cardinals got home runs from Newt Barr and Burleson, but lost the game 6-5. The win to Jimmy Herget, the loss to Romero, and Victor Vodnik got 3 5-ball outs to pick up the save. The Rockies won 2 out of 3 in the series.
Player to bank on, brought to you by Community America Credit Union, invested in you. That would be Andre Palante, who is going to start the game tomorrow night against the Yankees. Expected to be big crowds this weekend. Always seems to be when the Yankees are in town every other year. And the Cardinals will have Sonny Gray pitching on Saturday against New York. Sunday's starter is slated to be Miles Michaelis. The Cardinals, a 500 team right now at 61-61. Here's some good news. College football starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight, Mizzou will host Central Arkansas at Faurot Field in Columbia. Tailgating and the pageantry of college football will be back. Missouri is unranked. There are 10 SEC teams, 10 in the top 25. Mizzou is not one of those. Still haven't announced officially their starting quarterback, either Bo Perbula, the Penn State transfer, or Sam Horn, who has been in the program for a while now. Missouri made an interesting move this week. They moved preseason All-American guard Caden Green to the outside. He has been playing left tackle in practice. That is an indication that Eli Drinkwitz doesn't like what he sees at left tackle in practice, so he moves the sure thing, Green, over to tackle. We'll see. That offensive line has to be good to protect those two quarterbacks and get the run game going. Mizzou will play at 6:30 on that Thursday night, August 28th. Illinois, ranked 12th in the country, will host Western Illinois on Friday night at 6:30. Some other local teams in action that weekend. Starting Thursday at 6 o'clock, Lindenwood will visit St. Thomas. That's a school in Minnesota. Illinois State has a big task on its hands. It'll visit Oklahoma on Saturday at 5 o'clock, August 30th. Southeast Missouri State at Arkansas State on that Saturday at 6. And Southern Illinois will host Thomas More. That is a Catholic liberal arts college in Kentucky on Saturday, August 30th at 6 o'clock. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
Hi, I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler, and I'd like to introduce our newest associate, Dr. Adam Voss.
Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Voss, the newest addition to the Audiology Center. I'm very excited to join this amazing team. I'm a St. Louis native, graduated from Washington University School of Medicine, and I'm passionate about hearing healthcare and connecting people back to the things that matter to them most: family, friends, music, or even their favorite British TV drama. At the Audiology Center, we care for our patients like our own family. If you ever need anything, come on by or call us and we will make sure to address questions or issues same day. My ultimate goal as your audiologist is to listen to your individual needs and guide you on your journey to improved hearing. There are a lot of audiologists in town, but only one Audiology Center. We might not know how to change a tire, but we know a thing or two about audiology. And I want our current and future patients to know that you can trust us with your hearing healthcare needs.
Thanks, Dr. Voss. The Audiology Center, 3 locations. Come visit us at theaudiologycenterstl.com for more information.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
Oh, look at the time. It is 7:20 and time to head out the door. Let's see what's possibly in your way or slowing you down. Roger Branson, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Thursday mornings tend to be not terrible and basically just slow out there right now, Debbie, but we do have slow traffic. In fact, I'd call it a little more solid now from eastbound Highway 70, on eastbound 70 rather, from Lake St. Louis Boulevard in through Bryan Road toward K. It's a little heavier than it was 10 minutes ago. Eastbound 64 Wing Haven to maybe a half mile east of there, and 94 to Research Park, seeing a little volume at that point. There's more volume on North 270, Tesson Ferry through Gravois, and north of Big Bend all the way to Ladue, South 270, Olive to Ladue. These are all slowdowns, thankfully. Eastbound 30. Up east of West Watson through Mauer to 270 is busy. Northbound 55 Bales up to River to Pear heavy. And we still look okay downtown. Westbound, no delays coming across the Poplar or Mutual Veterans Bridges, and Route 3's cleared out from earlier. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Heat wave coming. Today, a high of 89, and then after a humid, sticky night, low 74. Tomorrow, sunshine, hot and humid. High 96, Saturday 98, Sunday 100, Monday 100. A heat wave with real field temperatures peaking at 109 this weekend. Currently, we have a sunny sky and 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. Weather sponsored by Fairmount Park Casino and Racing. Sign up for a Fairmount Park Casino and Racing players card in the casino today. Went up to $100,000. Get access to comps, free slot play, gift giveaways, and promotional offers. This offer won't last long. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The news continues at 7:22. Donald Trump held a virtual meeting with Ukraine's president and European leaders who gave Trump an earful over concerns that Russian leader Vladimir Putin is not ready to negotiate in good faith. This led Trump to issue a warning to Putin before their meeting tomorrow in Alaska.
President Trump will meet Friday with Vladimir Putin at a U.S. military base long used to counter Russia.
It was always going to be, I was going to meet with President Putin, and then after that, I'm going to call the leaders and President Zelensky. I'm going to call President Zelensky, and then I'll call, probably in that order, the leaders. There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting, which will be more productive than the first, because the first is I'm going to find out where we are and what we're doing.
It's an ironic twist, and while Joint Base Elbendorf-Richardson in Alaska may seem like an odd Moscow summit choice,
it makes sense for both sides.
Defense and security expert Benjamin Jensen says just being invited to the U.S. is a win for Putin, who has not visited the West since the Ukraine war started.
As weird as it seems to have the Russian president meet the U.S. president on a major military base in Alaska, it makes sense for both sides. The last thing Putin and his propaganda, corrupt inner circle want is pictures of Americans protesting Putin being there at a public setting. And if you had it in a more traditional setting, people could get close. No one's getting into the military base who doesn't have an ID and isn't supposed to be there. And frankly, that means they can really contain the space.
And for the president,
it's a great way for him to show American military strength while also isolating the ability of the public or others to intervene with what he probably hopes is a productive dialogue.
And one the president says could lead to another.
If the first one goes okay, we'll have a quick second one. I would like to do it almost immediately. And we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself, if they'd like to have me there. And that would be a meeting where maybe it could be absolutely work. But the first meeting will not work that out. Certain great things can be gained in the first. It's going to be a very important meeting, but it's setting the table for the second meeting.
Sagar Meghani at the White House.
Some Washington, D.C. residents are troubled by President Trump's plan to remove homeless people from the district.
This D.C. resident thinks the president's plans to get the homeless out of the district are unfair.
We don't want to see you, and that just feels like increasing the inequity, to be honest.
And this resident says she's fearful seeing so many agencies in the district because
what I've been seeing is, just law-abiding citizens being stopped and approached,
And as a Black woman,
I still don't know how that interaction will work out for me.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
A new report warns of severe staffing shortages at veterans hospitals.
The Inspector General at the Department of Veterans Affairs says 94% of VA medical facilities face a severe shortage of doctors. 79% need more nurses. The VA's press secretary claims the report is unreliable. The agency is cutting 30,000 employees department-wide. Nurse Tashara Felder says her VA medical center in Atlanta is already shorthanded.
The bedside care, the boots-on-ground care is declining.
VA Secretary Doug Collins says the cuts will not affect patient care. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A melting glacier caused flooding near the capital of Alaska, but recently installed barriers seem to have helped keep residents safe.
The Mendenhall River flows by Alaska's capital city of Juneau, fed by rainwater and snowmelt from the Mendenhall Glacier.
We have been seeing glacial lake outburst floods from the basin above Mendenhall Glacier since 2011.
Wednesday morning, the river peaked at a record flood level of 16 feet. Nicole Farron at the National Weather Service says it's now receding.
We don't expect another surge of water. The basin appears to have emptied.
New sandbag-style barriers along the river held back the water, preventing widespread damage. But Farron cautions
it is receding slower, further downstream. And so I think staying away from the river is the best advice for everyone right now. That's fast moving water and it's very dangerous.
Sound courtesy KTOO. I'm Ben Thomas.
All right, we have our last qualifier today for our big drawing tomorrow. That's the Shane Co. first pitch opportunity. So we'll qualify 4 people, our 4th person today, And then we'll draw the winner tomorrow. The winner gets a 4-pack of tickets to the August 17th game, and you get to throw out the first pitch, and you get a $250 Shane Company gift card. We'll have your opportunity to qualify coming up after Tom's next sportscast, so keep listening. Right now it's 7:27, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
If you're running a business, launching a brand, or leading a team, the nitrous effect might be the creative advantage you didn't know you needed. It's not just one agency, it's a collective. Based right here in St. Louis, working together as one team to solve big business challenges, a collective of creative service experts. Creative to culture, events to experiences, strategy to storytelling. These are names that you know. CPG agency Upbrand and Inventive, created by Keith Alper, trusted by Fortune 500 companies and hometown heavyweights alike. How about Southwest Airlines, Lion's Choice, St. Louis Zoo, BJC Healthcare, Wash U? They all use the nitrous effect. They help you speak to your most important audiences, your people, your customers, your community. Think of them as your full creative pit crew, proudly based in St. Louis and making national waves. The nitrous effect proves you don't need to go to the coast for world-class thinking. NitrousEffect.com. Specialty agencies working as one team, driving real results.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for BTO live in concert. Bachman Turner Overdrive with special guests April Wine and Zebra. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, August 30th, the Family Arena, a night of vintage BTO. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Bachman Turner Overdrive.
It is now 8:30. Make that 7:30, sorry. And we've got 71 degrees with sunshine. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, just slow going on eastbound Highway 70 right now, folks. Running from east of A, approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard through Bryan Road. By the time you get to Highway K, you're back on track. It's slow on southbound 61 again. North of Wentzville Parkway down to 64. 64 both sides of Winghaven, a little busy and slow at Research Park. Barely a slowdown at the Interbelt right now. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker through to Big Bend looks a little crowded. Southbound 270 starting to slow, approaching Page. 364 down to Ladue. North 270, 55 to Gravois and Big Bend to Ladue. That's all pretty busy. There's a crash on the shoulder eastbound 44 at Bowles. Doesn't seem to be bothering anybody. Eastbound 30 has some backed up traffic coming in from Northwest Boulevard through Gravois Bluffs, and it's busy from West Watson up to 270. Northbound 55, the right lane's a little crowded at Butler Hill. From the Union Road overpass up through River to Pear is slow. Downtown a little slow. Westbound 64 just at the 70 split and then across the Poplar after that. So it's not bad for Illinois drivers so far. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast from Joe Lundberg, a heat wave through Monday, starting tomorrow with temperatures peaking between 103 and 109 each afternoon, real field temperatures. Today, sun and clouds, warm and humid, high 89. Tonight, low 74. It'll be a sticky night. For tonight and then into tomorrow, we're going to see that heat rise. It'll be a 96-degree high tomorrow, 98 Saturday, Sunday and Monday, 100 degrees. Currently, it's sunny and 73 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:32. The Festus mother who killed her 2 children last May will not face criminal punishment.
According to a press release by Jefferson County Prosecuting Attorney Tricia Stefanski, Ashley Parmalee was determined by 2 forensic examiners to be unable to comprehend the wrongfulness of killing her 2 children at the time of the incident last May. She has entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity related to the first-degree murder charges she faced and has been committed to the Department of Mental Health. According to Missouri law, a person found incapable of knowing the nature of the wrongfulness of their actions due to a mental defect cannot be held responsible for those crimes. Parmalee shot her 2 children in rural Monterrey last May and drove to the Festus Police Department to turn herself in. She stopped on the drive to drown her boy after learning he was still alive. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A 2-year-old girl from Gravois Mills drowned yesterday morning in the Lake of the Ozarks. The girl reportedly wandered from home and was discovered face up in the water. Lake Regional Hospital pronounced her death 2 hours later. It is the second child to have drowned at the lake this year, according to Troop F of the Missouri State Highway Patrol.
A Missouri resident hospitalized with a rare and deadly brain-eating amoeba. Health officials believe the patient may have been infected while water skiing at the Lake of the Ozarks. While that amoeba is common in warm, fresh water, the resulting infection is extremely rare. Since 1962, only 167 cases have been reported in the U.S. Officials are still investigating the exact source of the infection. They recommend holding your nose or wearing nose clips when jumping or diving into fresh water to reduce your risk.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:34. Your money report next.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
You are listening to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Tom Ackerman, and we'll be checking the weather and the roadways for you in about 5 minutes. But first, let's get you caught up on your money report from Bloomberg. It's sponsored this hour by Busey Bank.
Good morning. Walmart is expanding its employee discount program, applying a 10% discount to almost all groceries, effective immediately. It used to just apply to fresh produce and some other purchases, but did not include important things like milk, pasta, or meat unless it was during the holiday season. Wall Street Journal says competitors like Whole Foods already offer such discounts, and Target offers employees as much as a 20% discount on some food, including some fresh food, and also its store brand items. Oil hovering near a 2-month low. That's after the International Energy Agency said the market is on track for record oversupply next year. Russia is a member of the OPEC Plus alliance, and traders are also monitoring today's summit between Russian leader Vladimir Putin and President Trump to see if it has an impact on oil. And investors also continue to eye a possible interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve. That's after Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent indicated he thinks the Fed could cut interest rates a 0.5 percentage point next month. With your money report, I'm Denise Pellegrini with Bloomberg Business on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Has never been easier. Here at Suntrip Buick GMC, our family-owned and operated dealership has been proudly servicing St. Charles County for over 30 years by always providing aggressive pricing, a massive inventory selection, and exceptional customer service. Buying from Suntrip means you get the best vehicle at the best price. Visit Suntrip Buick GMC today or visit us online at suntripbuickgmc.com and save more at Suntrip Buick GMC.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing, not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how to build your retirement on your terms. Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Before we get to traffic, it's 7:39. CBS's Stacy Lynn reports a lot fewer Americans are drinking alcohol.
Only 54% of U.S. adults said they had an alcoholic beverage this year. According to the latest Gallup poll, that's the lowest in the past 3 decades. The reason for the drop, they believe drinking even moderate amounts of alcohol can be harmful to their health. 53% feel even 1 to 2 drinks is bad. So while we've long been told that a glass of red is good for the heart, many are now saying no. Stacy Lynn, CBS News.
Well, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. And don't forget, coming up after the next Sportscast at 7:45, your chance to qualify for that first pitch opportunity. Details on that on the way. But let's get the details on your ride-in. Hopefully no issues, but Roger Brand's got his eye on things in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, basically just slow going out there right now, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm, eastbound 70, east of A to Highway K. Just sort of busy all the way through. There's a couple of slowdowns, southbound 61, south of P down to 64. 64 east of 364 through Winghaven is heavy. There's a slowdown through the Chesterfield Parkways, and then at the Interbelt, westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley's crowded. South 270 bogs down. Dorset to Ladue, North 270 as you ramp on from 55 to 44, and then Big Bend to Ladue is busy. 44 between Bowles and Ross, a little heavy. Eastbound 30, delays into Gravois Bluffs, and it's slow West Watson to 270. Northbound 55, the right lanes north of Butler Hill are busy. It's backed up pretty solid now from the Union Road overpass up through about Weber, and westbound 64 heavy 3rd Street onto the Poplar. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Here comes that intense heat for the weekend.
Another round of heat and humidity. The humidity may not be quite as high as it was with the last heat wave, so that means the AccuWeather real field temperatures probably don't get to 110, but they're still going to be over 100 starting tomorrow and lasting through at least Monday, if not into Tuesday of next week. Today's the quote-unquote comfortable day of the pattern with sun and clouds weighted more toward the sunshine and a high of 89. Then overnight tonight, patchy clouds early, clear skies later on will drop to about 74, and that's it. The heat builds tomorrow with sunshine up to 96 and will be that or a degree or two higher for Saturday with more sun than clouds. Upper 90s to near 100 Sunday and Monday with plenty of sunshine. 71 degrees at St. Peter, 72 in Florissant, mainly sunny, 74 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Ackerman has the power to do the right thing. They've already had a halt on disconnections. They can just simply continue to do that.
That's Christian Blackman. She runs a Black-led rental and justice advocacy organization, taking part in a protest at Ackerman, Missouri headquarters, calling on the company to halt turning off people's power, those who are still recovering from tornado damage.
KMOX's Maria Kina talked with Connie Taylor, a spokeswoman who says Ackerman has programming available for low-income customers and adds they work very closely with organizations like the Urban League to deliver information about the low energy assistance program.
You had mentioned about the low income. Certainly a lot of the area that was hit by the May 16th tornado, that's a very low income area. A lot of those people didn't even have insurance to rebuild. They're relying on federal assistance at this point, FEMA. Where's the empathy here from Ackerman to say, okay, this happened on May 16th to these people. Why don't we put a moratorium on this just for a few months until they can catch their breath?
And so that's why we continue to be present with our agency partners. We're going to be at the Urban League at an expo this weekend at their annual expo, so that customers can walk in and be there, and we can step them through how we can help provide this support that's really setting people up for longer term sustainable help as people continue to put things back together with this whole tornado situation.
And Connie, explain to people what, now you're saying for them to come in there, but you're talking about older people too, elderly people, maybe people who are not so mobile, who don't have the transportation, who can't get to those facilities. Mm-hmm. What do they need to do, especially if they've already had their power shut off? What do they need to do?
So this is really important that we have a variety of different ways to connect with customers, because different people, someone may like to be able to call someone. Customers can call our contact center. We're at 800-552-7583 to work through getting things resolved with bills. We partner with the United Way, and that's a 211 call. We partner with Cool Down St. Louis. So we try to make sure that we have a number of different ways to connect with customers, whether it's someone who may be able to go online and get information, but someone else may prefer to be able to call someone.
Cool Down St. Louis is a nonprofit that provides utility assistance and air conditioners to the elderly and disabled. The organization received $25,000 from Ackerman following the tornado. Interesting, about 20 or so minutes ago, I posted a poll on my Twitter page. College football is 2 weeks away. Your favorite team? ? 55% of you, 157 votes so far, 55% of you said Missouri. These are my followers again at Ackerman 1120. Missouri 55%, Illinois 25%. And then I listed other, and I wanted people to mention who they rooted for in the comments. And it's all over the place. Alabama, Indiana, Oregon, Louisville, Lindenwood, Arkansas, Notre Dame, Florida. Those are just some of those that are listed. College football is 2 weeks away. Missouri's going to host Central Arkansas 2 weeks from tonight. And 2 weeks from tomorrow night, Illinois will host Western Illinois. The Cardinals hosted the Rockies yesterday, and they'll have the Yankees in town this weekend. Rockies down 5-4. They chipped away at the Cardinals. Jojo Romero pitching in the ninth inning. He walked the batter to lead off the inning. That's not good. Off the bench, right-handed power hitter Hunter Goodman.
And a dangerous pitch here to a home run hitter on 3-1. The 3-1 for Goodman.
A swing and a high fly ball, deep center field. Back goes Scott. He's at the wall. It's gone. A 2-run homer, and the Rockies lead 6-5.
That's all she wrote. The Rockies won the game 6-5. They won the series. They won both series against the Cardinals this year. Worst team in baseball, beat the Cardinals 4 out of 6. Manager Ollie Marmol on a disturbing trend, the leadoff man getting on in these ball games.
A big challenge. That's what we just got done talking about inside. Every time they got the leadoff guy on, they basically scored. And it cost us today. We've done a good job of that over the last several weeks. Not so much today. Yeah.
Well, with JoJo, especially the last however many months, it's one of those where it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And to your point, he's done a really nice job. And outings like this are going to happen. We know what their bench looks like. We know they're going to unload. Whether you do it in the 7th inning, you're going to see that same lineup of guys coming off the bench, or you wait till the 9th. It's going to happen. You just have to not give in. And unfortunately, you look at the leadoff walk, that kind of sets everything up there where you have to kind of give in a little bit to Goodman.
That's been the season, hasn't it? The Cardinals beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. They beat the Cubs 2 out of 3. But again, they lose to a sub-500 team in a series, 2 out of 3 to the Rockies. The Yankees are in town this weekend, 7:15 start tomorrow night on KMOX. Don't forget tonight, it's the St. Louis City Soccer Showcase. It's at Hot Shots in Wentzville from 6 to 8 tonight. Jay Reed of St. Louis City SC will be on site signing autographs. They have tickets to give away as well. It's Hot Shots in Wentzville. Jen Cease, Matt Pauley co-hosting that show tonight from 6 to 8. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX, Ins and Outs, sponsored by Innsbrook Resort, where every day is the weekend. Innsbrook was so much fun last weekend. We had a great time with the family. We went to a concert on Saturday night, rented a golf cart, which was really a cool thing. Zipping around Innsbrook on a golf cart is a lot of fun. Fishing in Innsbrook is so much fun. Audrey caught it, a monster catfish. Yes, we threw it back, but man, that was a thrill. One of the biggest fish we have ever caught, and certainly the biggest fish we've ever caught at Innsbrook. They're out there, no doubt about it. And, taking a dip in those cold lakes, that's a lot of fun too, especially on those hot summer days. Kicking back and relaxing at a home at Innsbrook is living. Great vacation spot, not far from St. Louis. It's in Warren County, right off the Wright City exit. Innsbrook-resort.com.
Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live, it's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News & World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour and complimentary lunch, or to learn more about our upcoming charity golf tournament benefiting the VFW National Home. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Now is your opportunity to call 314-955-1120 because caller number 5 is going to be our final qualifier for our first pitch opportunity. So tomorrow we will draw. So you have a 1 in 4 chance of being the person to get a 4-pack of tickets to the August 17th game, throwing out the first pitch, and you get a $250 Shane Company gift card. Good luck, and you qualify by calling 314-955-1120.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Roger Brand, what's the latest? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we still got slow going on eastbound 70, approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard into about Highway K. It's a little busy coming through Zumbel, and again 270 into the Rock Road. South 270 at the Rock Road, the right lane's a little backed up. There's a stall. They already moved it to the shoulder. Southbound 61, a little busy crossing over onto 64 up to about Lake St. Louis Boulevard and east of 364 through Winghaven. Coming out of the valley through the Chesterfield Parkways, there's a backup and it's slow. right at McKnight to Hanley. Westbound 64 Science Center to Hanley busy. South 170 bogs down at Delmar. South 270 is congested north of Dorset down to Olive, but then it's picking up the pace after that, so it doesn't look as bad down at 64. North 270, though, 55 through Gravois and Big Bend to Ladue, that's all still busy. 44 around Miraz, a little heavy. Eastbound 30, West Watson to 270, still slow. Northbound 55, a backup between Union and the River to Perrin. It's a little slow at Virginia. Westbound 70 passing the Musial Veterans Bridge, heavy, and it's slow on 64, westbound from the 70 split across the Poplar. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast from Joe Lundberg. Debbie, what does he have?
Well, do your outdoor stuff today because it gets really hot after today. 89 degrees will be our high. Sun and clouds, warm and humid. And then our heat wave kicks in all the way through at least Monday with real field temperatures each day as hot as 109. So 89 today, 96 tomorrow, 98 on Saturday. Right now, it's not bad out there. 73 degrees with a few clouds and sunshine.
The news continues at 7:52. Closing 12 state schools that serve the severely disabled will provide more opportunities and strengthen education for those students. That's what Missouri Board of Education President Mary Schrag said this week as they voted with little discussion to shut down those 12 schools next year. That includes the Gateway Hubert Wheeler School in St. Louis, which was already under a temporary emergency closure because of staffing issues. Missouri is the only state in the nation still operating separate day schools for special ed, but 85% of parents polled by consultants said this system met their child's needs better.
The Clinton County, Illinois Sheriff's Office is conducting an investigation after 2 recording devices were found in a portable bathroom at the St. Rose Church picnic. Sheriff Dan Travis says St. Rose officials contacted them last week after finding the devices on the north side of the gymnasium during the picnic. The Riverbender reports Travis says a suspect was taken into custody, placed on a felony hold, but the name's not being released. Only detectives have viewed the video. Travis says the video is of poor quality, making the people unrecognizable.
Project Cumulus, the massive data center planned for St. Charles, has many in the region concerned, particularly about the massive amounts of water that will be needed to cool the servers. St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman tells Chris and Amy.
And I live about, probably 1,000 yards from where this is taking place. And a lot of my neighbors are very concerned. My wife's very concerned. And my only request is let's have everybody just wait to make up their mind until they've heard the whole story.
Ellman says his staff was briefed on the project recently and half thought it was a good idea. The other half didn't like it. There's an open house Thursday night, tonight from 5 to 7 at the Foundry Arts Center, and a final city council vote next Tuesday. Ellman says it's a city issue. The county doesn't make a decision.
A sinkhole opened up on the street next to Pappy's Smokehouse in Midtown, forcing them to temporarily close.
A couple of workers say they were here when the sinkhole opened up. A delivery truck was rolling by, and it caught the rear tires in the sinkhole, breaking the axle. Somehow that truck drove out. Pappy's co-owner, John Matthews.
Lost our some of our utilities as far as Wi-Fi. There's an issue with the sewer. It got crushed. And we're just waiting for the city to get us back together so we can get rolling again.
He says, fingers crossed, Pappy's will be back open Friday. In Midtown, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
From the KMOX archives, 80 years ago today, devastated by the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan unconditionally surrendered to end World War II. President Harry S. Truman made the announcement.
I deem this reply a full acceptance of the Potsdam Declaration, which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan.
General Douglas MacArthur later represented the United States at the surrender ceremony on the USS Missouri.
It is my earnest hope, and indeed the hope of all mankind, that from this solemn occasion a better world shall emerge out of the blood and carnage of the past.
It is 7:56. This is Total Information AM.
I'm Maria Kina. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
The sign you have the very best. I love that because it's absolutely true. Chesterfield Fence and Deck. If anyone has ever been to the Chesterfield Fence and Deck showroom, they know that that is the truth. You won't find a showroom better. Chesterfield Fence and Deck's showroom, when you walk through there, all indoor, by the way, looks like it feels like you're walking through somebody's neighborhood. You get to visit and touch and feel the sunrooms, the fences, the decks, the patios. That's where I discovered, maybe we could do an outdoor kitchen. I know it's just maybe me just dreaming, but they make it a reality. You can learn about them at chesterfieldfence.com. And why choose Chesterfield Fence and Deck over the others? Because they offer exceptional products and services. So many homeowners choose them for their outdoor transformations, quality products, expert installations, and it's a safe choice. Safety's big in these projects, and that's at the forefront of the process. From installation to project management, they prioritize safe, efficient practices. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the safest fence and deck company St. Louis has to offer. Just ask the BBB. They gave them an A+ rating. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Roger Brand, you are in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we just have slow traffic on eastbound Highway 70 running in from just Lake St. Louis to Bryan Road now. Then it's picking up the pace a little slow. Earth City toward the Rock Road, eastbound 64 at Prospect, and east of 364 through Winghaven heavy. It backs up west of McKnight in through Hanley. Westbound 64 Science Center to Hanley slow. South 170 bogs down at Delmar. Northbound 270 Tesson Ferry through Gravois slow, and then Big Bend up through 64 is heavy. Northbound 141 jams from Centurion up to 44. There's a stall in one of the traffic lanes. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump is adjusting expectations for his face-to-face with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. He's no longer promising to hash out a land swap with Ukraine. Instead, he's pitching it as a listening session. As for formatics, correspondent Nancy Cordes is in Anchorage.
We're getting some new details this morning from the Kremlin about how these talks are supposedly going to go down tomorrow. They say that Presidents Trump and Putin are going to meet one-on-one first with only their translators present before the meetings broaden out into a wider group that includes their top advisors. And then they say that Putin is going to participate in a joint news conference with President Trump.
Parts of New York City, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware all drying out after heavy rain that triggered flash flooding overnight. Tropical storm Erin continues to strengthen in the Atlantic. CBS meteorologist Rob Marciano.
We expect it to get to hurricane strength by late tomorrow and then major hurricane by early Sunday or late in the day on Sunday. And the track takes it just north of Puerto Rico. But I do think that Puerto Rico will see some impacts with this.
A new report is raising a red flag over severe staffing shortages at veterans hospitals.
The Inspector General at the Department of Veterans Affairs says 94% of VA medical facilities face a severe shortage of doctors. 79% need more nurses. The VA's press secretary claims the report is unreliable. The agency is cutting 30,000 employees department-wide. Nurse Tashara Felder says her VA medical center in Atlanta is already shorthanded.
The bedside care, the boots-on-ground care is declining.
VA Secretary Doug Collins says the cuts will not affect patient care. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A flight from Norfolk to LA made an emergency landing in Grand Junction, Colorado.
The passenger is free and is using what they were trying to restrain him with as a weapon.
The Breeze Air pilot on liveatc.net as a passenger got out of control. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
The FBI identified the passenger as 46-year-old David Leroy Carter. Local police say he allegedly waved his skateboard and shouted racial slurs at flight attendants while intoxicated.
When he broke out of his restraints, a fellow passenger stepped in and held him down. And you thought you'd heard the last of this, kitty ditty. South Korea's top court has just thrown out a 6-year copyright claim against Baby Shark's producers. It's ruled against U.S. children's entertainer John Wright, stage name Johnny Only. He sued the Korean brand Pinkfong. It turned the tune into a viral hit. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
It is 8:03, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we do have a few clouds, but the temperatures are not bad at all, 74 degrees. The news is sponsored for you by St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. An adult Missouri resident who was recently water skiing at the Lake of the Ozarks is now in an intensive care unit at a local hospital with a confirmed case of a rare brain infection.
It's called Naegleria fowleri, a microscopic single-celled free-living amoeba that can cause a rare deadly infection of the brain. It's found in warm, fresh water, such as lakes, rivers, and ponds. State epidemiologist Nathan Kofornis.
You don't have to worry about drinking the water. Typically less worried about, just swimming in the water, things like that, although it's possible. But typically it involves getting a certain amount of water kind of forced up the sinuses, the nose and the sinuses. And if that water just happened to have one of these amoeba living in it, you could get this infection.
Prevention tips include holding your nose shut, using nose clips, or keeping your head above water, especially if you jump or dive into warm, fresh water. But again, Kofornis says this is extremely rare, but the state wants everyone to be aware it's out there during the summer months. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Last spring, Ashley Parmalee shot her daughter and drowned her son before driving to the Festus Police Department to confess. Jefferson County Prosecuting Attorney Tricia Stefanski said in a statement, Parmalee has entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. According to Stefanski, that plea comes after 2 separate mental health exams determined Parmalee did not understand the wrongfulness or nature of her actions at the time they occurred. According to state law, that means Parmalee cannot be held responsible for killing her children. She has been committed to the Department of Mental Health. Today marks 20 years since Amanda Jones of Festus, who was 9 months pregnant, vanished after meeting with a person of interest at the Hillsborough Civic Center off Highway 21. Despite years of searching, use of cadaver dogs on the Hillsborough Fairgrounds, and a $20,000 reward by the FBI, leads have dried up. The only person of interest in the case, Brian Westfall, had a stroke and passed away in 2021. There is a police interview tape with Westfall, but investigators say even now, releasing it could compromise the integrity of the ongoing investigation. For the second time in Missouri, a baby has been surrendered in what's called a safe haven baby box. Earlier this month, the infant was placed in the Melville Fire Department container. These drop sites are designated as a place where parents can safely and anonymously surrender newborns under the state's Safe Place for Newborns law. The union representing striking Boeing workers is taking its fight to Washington.
The Machinists Union says it sent letters asking Missouri senators and representatives to pressure the company to end the stalemate. Some 3,200 members remain in the picket lines. They walked off the job after rejecting a deal earlier this month, despite it including a big wage increase. We remain ready and willing to listen to any constructive proposals from the union, said Dan Gillian, a Boeing vice president and senior St. Louis site executive, in a statement. The strike impacts production of vital defense hardware and components for Boeing's 777X commercial jets as well. The last strike at the facility was in 1996. It lasted 99 days then. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Block Incorporated announces a new round of layoffs affecting 23 St. Louis-based customer service employees. A notice filed with the state confirms those job cuts, which are the second here for the company this year. The parent company of Square and Cash App is reducing its staff. The company was founded by St. Louis natives Jack Dorsey and Jim McKelvey. St. Louis public school teachers, Local 420, mulling over a no-confidence vote in the superintendent.
With the new school year starting, Local 420 President Byron Clemens tells KMOX they had no decision in making Dr. Boroschetti superintendent. That was the previous school board.
Our members are very concerned about the superintendent, and we'll have to see where we go from here. But there are concerns about the opening of schools, particularly this releasing the study at this particular time.
Clemens tells KMOX there is a petition drive circulating on the no confidence issue. As to when teachers could vote on that, still not known. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Two community organizations, Action St. Louis and For the Culture STL, have released a report on their people's response following the May 16th tornado in North St. Louis. The report highlights a massive 6-week effort with more than 10,000 volunteers coordinated from a central hub to assist the hardest hit areas. The response served more than 21,000 meals, delivered more than 5,000 supply packages, and organized more than 3,000 volunteers for debris removal. St. Louis County officials are warning of RECA scams as applications become available.
Daniel Spradley with St. Louis County's outreach team says residents are being contacted by people seeking payment to assist with RECA applications.
We've already seen cases where there are people saying that they are an attorney and they will fill out their applications for people. This was before the application was even out, trying to charge exorbitant fees.
Spradley says attorneys can help and charge a fee, but there is a cap.
By law, they can only charge 2% to help someone fill out an application.
The county has set up a website to help people find assistance with obtaining necessary paperwork and navigating the lengthy application. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
She is one of St. Louis's most famous entertainers, a global sensation, the Beyonce of her time. She is Josephine Baker. We're going to talk more about her and what the Missouri History Museum will have on Josephine Baker coming up next. Stay with us here on KMOX. It's 8:09.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible.
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention parents of children who have used the gaming platform known as Roblox. If your child was a victim of sexual abuse or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to compensation. Roblox is facing multiple high-profile lawsuits, including an ongoing class action, alleging it failed to protect users from foreseeable dangers that led to the grooming, exploitation, and sexual abuse of minors on the platform. Claims allege Roblox turned a blind eye to predators, unsafe games, and deceptive monetization practices that targeted children. Victims were contacted through in-game chats and coerced into private conversations on third-party apps. If you believe your child may have been a victim of grooming, sexual abuse, or harm of any kind while using the Roblox platform, you may be entitled to a cash settlement. Text our helpline now to find out if you have a viable compensation claim against Roblox. Text GONE to 323232. That's GONE to 323232. GONE to 323232.
This is Tom Becker with Climate Masters. We don't just sell air conditioners, we sell comfort. We sell solutions. We sell a job well done, and we fix bad jobs. Climate Masters, because you need someone you can trust. Someone who earns your respect and 5-star reviews. Climate Masters, selling high-quality Carrier air conditioners. Turn to the experts. Climate Masters, quality work for over 40 years. Just type in Climate Masters and give us a call.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 8:11. It's time for us to check in with Roger Brand, who joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we got a little bit of a backup on the south side at a couple of spots now. If you're on northbound Highway 55, you're bumper to bumper from the Bayless or Union Road overpass, really, all the way up to Loughborough. There's a crash at the Loughborough exit. I can't see what traffic lane's blocked. I know they had it in the roadway. I think they cleared it off on the exit, but it's still backed up there. They also just cleared a crash North 270 at Gravois. Traffic's backed up approaching Tesson Ferry to that one, and then it's still slow from Doherty Ferry all the way up to Ladue. Northbound 141 from Centurion up to 44. We had a stall in the traffic lane there a couple of minutes ago. Eastbound 64 a little busy at Prospect, Winghaven, Annie Guns to about Timberlake, and then McKnight into Big Bend. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker to Big Bend, just kind of off the pace. Eastbound 70, 270 into Cypress is slow. Westbound 64 downtown from the 70 split to the Poplars heavy. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Times of sun and clouds today. Very warm and humid, the high 89, then partly cloudy this evening. Mainly clear, warm and sticky overnight, though 74. A heat wave starts tomorrow and lasts into back to school day on Monday, with AccuWeather real field temperatures between 103 and 109 each afternoon. For tomorrow, sunny, hot and humid, high 96. More sun than clouds Saturday up to 98. Sunday and Monday will be hot with sunshine for the most part. The high both days near 100. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's not a bad start to the day. Enjoy it while it lasts. It's sunny and 74 degrees in downtown St. Louis. St. Louis is home to many famous entertainers who've made global impacts. And joining me on Total Information AM is Dr. Jody Saul, president of the Missouri Historical Society. And Jody, yesterday was a celebration of one of those St. Louis icons, Josephine Baker.
You know, Josephine Baker is world famous, and her popularity only seems to grow. I mean, just the number of films and performances and books that have been released in just the last couple of years about Josephine Baker. But sometimes people forget the St. Louis chapter of her story, and it's an incredibly important one. Josephine Baker was born in St. Louis. She got her start in St. Louis. She gave one of her most important civil rights speeches in St. Louis. So we are so excited to bring in this collection of more than 500 items that tell the Josephine Baker story, how important she was globally, but also help us to tell the St. Louis side of that story.
What can you tell us about some of these items and where did they come from?
This is a collection that has been built over the past 50 years by Mary Strauss. Mary Strauss is one of this community's biggest supporters, but probably best known for her efforts to revitalize the Fox with her late husband, Leon. So she has been amassing this collection over 50 years. It includes posters, it includes sheet music, it includes programs, it includes a dress worn by Josephine Baker. It includes Baker Fix, the hair care product that Josephine Baker came up with. So a wide variety of items, some just spectacular and huge pieces, huge posters that are in currently in Mary's stairway that will be coming into the collection.
For people who may be interested now, they may be curious, what will the Missouri Historical Society be doing with these? Will they be stored? Will they be displayed?
Yeah, so both. So they will be protected and preserved, but they will also be shared, which is very important to Mary. So they will be on our curated collections website. They will be in our new collected gallery, and we have a special Josephine Baker exhibit coming up scheduled for 2028. Also in 2028, we are opening a new 12,000 square foot decade by decade walk through St. Louis history that will be on the second floor of the Missouri History Museum. Well, that story would be incomplete without the Josephine Baker story, so it will be there as well. We will, of course, be doing programs, including new sort of celebrations on Josephine Baker's sort of landmark birthdays. But these items will also be loaned. I think this is important. These items will also be loaned to museums around the world. And every time they're displayed, every time there's a new Josephine Baker exhibit and these pieces are displayed, it will say that these came from the Missouri Historical Society in St. Louis. It's just another way of keeping St. Louis in the news and keeping St. Louis's story forefront in the Josephine Baker story.
For people who maybe know the name but don't really know that much about her, can you give our listeners an idea of just how famous she was in her day?
Yeah, it is almost hard to describe. I mean, she is, so for people who are used to stars like Beyonce, I mean, she is in many ways the first African-American superstar, known on stage, known on screen, known for her dancing, known for her singing. But then she parlays that into an incredibly important civil rights career, incredibly important in talking about racial disparities here in the United States and how she was treated differently in Paris than she was in the United States. And of course, during World War II, she was also a spy and spying for the Allies. So she has these fascinating stories. She spoke at the March on Washington, all these different chapters. What I might be most intrigued by, though, is even after she stopped performing, even after she passed, her popularity continues to grow. Just in the last couple of years, some great books published, including this year, the first time that her memoir was published in English. I was just listening to a concept album by Felicia Rashad. People remember her as the mom in The Cosby Show. She released in 1978 a disco album all about Josephine Baker. So everyone has this fascination with Josephine Baker has never truly waned.
Preserving the history of Josephine Baker and St. Louis. It's the Missouri Historical Society. President Dr. Jody Sowell joining us on Total Information AM. Thank you.
Thank you. Always good to talk to you.
More on Josephine Baker's life and induction into the Pantheon in Paris, the first Black woman to receive one of France's highest honors. Here's CBS's Jan Mabry with a special report.
Josephine Baker had two loves, her country and Paris, and now Paris and all of France is loving her back, inducting her into the prestigious Pantheon, Le Panthéon, where her name will rest alongside the country's greatest luminaries.
She's joining the likes of Victor Hugo, Rousseau, philosopher, Voltaire.
Ricky Stevenson, founder of Black Paris Tours, is attending this historic occasion.
Alexandre Dumas, the great Black French writer, Madame Curie, the Pasteurs.
It was Miss Baker who inspired Ricky and so many Black expats to move to Paris in the first place. As a child, her mom took her to see the Bronze Venus perform.
I wanted to understand what it was to walk as a Black woman through this world with your own personal power.
Frida Josephine McDonald was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1906. America was a hostile place for any Black child, and at 11, young Frida experienced that hatred firsthand.
Europeans crossed the bridge from St. Louis into East St. Louis and went on a 3-day burning, beating, killing rampage. And that would be the thing that would fuel her for the rest of her life.
Frida grew up to become one of the highest paid chorus girls in New York. Still a teen, but her comic timing and sexy style made her a star. And when she traveled to France and performed with La Revue Negre, she never looked back.
And it was something new and wonderful to be treated as a human. Imagine being at the Cotton Club in New York, and during intermission, if you were Black, you had to go outside. Now you're in Paris, and they're running to get costumes for you. Oh, girl, do their shoes fit? Can I get something better for you? And that's what allowed these young women to be free, to be stars, and for Josephine Baker to really break out. She became the first woman entertainer to really market herself. There was a Josephine Baker doll, a Josephine Baker line of hair pomade, a Josephine Baker line of oil to rub on your skin. She became a millionaire. She opened her own Chez Josephine nightclub. She bought a mansion out in La Vézinay. Josephine Baker would be the first entertainer in Europe to buy her own plane, get her pilot's license, fly herself to her own concert date.
During World War II, Baker became a resistance fighter.
She was trained as a spy. She worked for counterintelligence.
And would live the rest of her life fighting for equality.
Josephine Baker was inducted into the Pantheon in Paris in 2021. It's now 8:22, and let's get you a check of the roadways from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, this traffic report's a service to the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Things are getting better on the highways, but we still have some backed up traffic on northbound Highway 55 running up from north of Rivas Barracks up through the Bayless-Weber area. It's opening up before you get to River de Pere. Basically, it's a slowdown and not a jam that we had earlier when that crash was out there just past the river. Northbound 270, 55 to Tesson Ferry, still slow north of Big Bend all the way to Ladou's busy. South 270 approaching Olive down to Ladue, a little slow. 64 still bogged down. Through the Winghaven area from Chesterfield Parkway west to about Timberlake and west of McKnight to Big Bend. South 170 delays at the Parkway. Westbound 64 Clayton Skinker to Hanley slow. Eastbound 70 Earth City into the Rock Road's busy. Westbound 70 seeing a little heavy traffic at Jennings Station. And downtown westbound 64 3rd Street headed for the Poplars still pretty crowded. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 178-year Young Mutual Company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, the word when it comes to the forecast is just hot, but not so bad today. 89 with sun and clouds. It'll be humid, but the heat up starts tomorrow. 96 with real field temperatures as hot as 109 all the way through Monday. Currently, it is 75 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
Hi, it's Margaret from Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. I've worked with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano for more than 30 years. Their guidance and assistance with my estate planning and legal documents gives me the peace of mind that I have the retirement I've worked for and always dreamed of. And I'm playing it fully with my grandchildren, volunteering, and traveling worldwide. I play confidently knowing my estate is secured in any event. You can get your estate secured with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano too. Visit their website, yourestatemasters.com, and download their free webinar on how to get started. Then make a free appointment. Your estate matters because you matter. Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestatemasters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision and should not be made solely on advertising.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch with Julie Smith, our resident media literacy expert. She's an author, public speaker, and an instructor at Webster University. Today, we're going to talk about how we handle social media accounts when someone passes away. And I have actually seen family members take over some of these accounts and post, on behalf of these individuals. But I can imagine in some cases, it would be hard to access them once someone is gone.
Right. I mean, grief is bad enough, right? Grief is hard enough. And you getting access to someone's device can be really tricky. Like if you can get someone's passcode from their phone after they've passed, but it deletes all of the content on the phone. So that doesn't really make any sense, right? If you want to try to memorialize someone's social media accounts. There's no universal solution to it. Some people have started creating digital wills that include passwords and things like that, but we're encouraged to change our passwords pretty frequently. So I'm not sure how valid that is. It's also tough because in some cases, if we take over other people's accounts, if you want to be a real stickler about it, it actually violates some computer fraud and abuse acts that are state laws around the country. So it's tricky, and it's one of those really new areas in media law where we're still trying to figure our way around.
It has to be exhausting for families too. And I'm sure the concern that what if this account gets hacked and I can't get into it and I can't report it? I mean, it's hard enough to get your own account straightened out.
Right.
If someone takes over your account.
Right. And I remember someone telling me that they had received a friend request from my dad long after he had passed. And that not only is it creepy and uncomfortable, but like you said, it's hard enough when someone's living account gets hacked, but with someone who's passed, it's almost like you just have to let go. A lot of these platforms will let you memorialize someone or deactivate their account, but even then you need a certified copy of a death certificate. It's a huge process and a lot of hurdles you have to jump through, all while you're dealing with everything else going on. So it's a tough situation that I think more and more people have to deal with every day that we wouldn't have thought about 20 years ago.
So your advanced planning, life planning, has to include now how you deal with social media accounts.
Yes. Like, who would you like to handle your accounts? You have to make sure that you leave the passwords, et cetera. And, but we're encouraged to change our passwords pretty regularly. So it's just another list of things that we need to keep track of now in today's day and age.
That is Julie Smith. She helps us navigate our digital lives. She is a Webster University instructor, author, and public speaker. Thanks for being with us.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
It is 8:29. The time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Time at 8:31 to check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, this traffic report's a service of Saks Financial. It looks like they may have cleared that stall 141 at 44. There's barely a delay there. Now, it's still heavy up through Marshall, but it's not jammed approaching 44 like it was. Northbound 270, north of 44, let's call it Big Bend to Ladue. That's still busy. South 270, Olive to Ladue, still a little slow. Still seeing a slowdown eastbound 64, both sides of Winghaven and briefly at Clarkson, and then McKnight into Hanley. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker to Hanley, slow. South 170, busy at Brentwood. Northbound 55, Bayless, just north of the Union Road overpass, all the way up through Virginia is heavy. And there's still a couple of slowdowns on the Illinois side, westbound 64 through the 70 split onto the Poplar. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The heat up doesn't start until tomorrow. Today, 89 degrees, times of sun and clouds, humid. But starting tomorrow, we will have a heat wave at least through Monday or Tuesday. 96 and heat, real feel temperatures as hot as 109. It's 76 degrees now in downtown St. Louis.
Hey, it's Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial, retiresafestl.com. Have you ever wondered what it's like to work with a financial advisor? Are you in your 50s or early 60s and really haven't talked to anybody about how you retire? Give me a call today. Check out our website, retiresafestl.com.
It's now 8:32, and recovering from the massive damage of the May 16th tornado is ongoing. Several branches of St. Louis Public Library remain closed. Waller McGuire, CEO of St. Louis Public Library, gives us the update.
The St. Louis Public Library during the tornado had two of our libraries badly damaged. One was Julia Davis, which is on Natural Bridge and was in kind of the heart of the worst of the storm, and one was Cabany, which is on Union. Julia Davis was a newer building. It was badly damaged. The roof was damaged. We had a 50-ton air conditioning unit blown off the roof and smashed cars on the parking lot. We had shards of wood penetrate the walls and windows blew out. It was a really dangerous situation. We had a lot of people in the building, and I have to say the staff was really acted well. I'm really proud of them. They were well trained. They were well prepared. They got customers into a safe space and protected them through the storm. We didn't have a single person injured anywhere in the library system. But that damage is going to take a long time to repair. We've emptied out the building, the collections, the computer equipment, all those things, and we're working on getting it repaired and ready. It's going to be a matter of months, I think, before that building can be opened again, which is a tragedy. It's a very busy library. We had Cabany, which is a lovely historic building on Union Boulevard. The wind, it's a big, heavy brick Carnegie building. The wind got under the roof and did some damage, actually lifted the roof up, and the ceiling collapsed in that building. So there's a lot of work to be done there. We've moved a lot of the collections and technology and services into other nearby locations. So Walnut Park, which is near Julia Davis, is operating on extended hours to try to help people get library services. And a lot of the technology and books and other items have been moved into other buildings. But those neighborhoods were really badly damaged and they need their library services. And so we're working hard to get the buildings open again, but it's going to be a while.
The Julia Davis branch, was that not the branch that had the new solar panels and all of that?
It is. We had just finished installing new solar generation and new HVAC in that building. We were generating a fair amount of our own electricity, and all of the solar installation on the roof, I'm sorry to say, was damaged and is going to have to be replaced. So that's a major undertaking, but we're working on that as well. And we hope to replace it and begin generating our own electricity up there as soon as the building can be reopened.
Is all of this covered by insurance, or how does that work for the library?
You can imagine negotiating with our insurance company. So we're working closely with them, and so far that has been going well. But yes, it's very like so many people are going through with their homes, just on a large scale. You know, those of us who have seen Forest Park and the areas around it and that heartbreaking damage, that's hard to take. But honestly, when you get up into the area around Julia Davis and Cabany, it was just amazing damage that was done. And so to see those neighborhoods work to recover and to do whatever we can to help, that's important to us, and we're working on it. But we really did sustain a lot of damage.
That's Waller McGuire, the CEO of St. Louis Public Library. It's 8:36.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
It is 8:37, and your money report from Bloomberg is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
Good morning. Speculation continues to build. The Fed will cut interest rates next month. That's thanks in part to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who says the Fed could cut rates a 0.5 percentage point. Inflation in U.S. consumers could be a theme today, as well as investors look at a report on prices at the producer level and also look ahead to a retail sales report tomorrow. The Union for Boeing's defense workers is asking Missouri lawmakers to intervene and nudge the plane maker to reach a deal to end the strike. About 3,200 workers walked off the job earlier this month after members voted down the company's offer. A Boeing vice president says the company is ready to listen to any constructive proposals. The workers make fighter aircraft missiles, munitions, and also some components for some Boeing commercial jets. And Top Gun and Star Trek are top priorities at the new Paramount Skydance. Chief exec of Paramount Skydance, David Ellison, plans to boost film and TV production at the media company he just acquired control of last week. A third film from the Top Gun series, as well as more from Star Trek, are in focus. With your money report, I'm Denise Pellegrini with Bloomberg Business on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Tom Ackerman here. It's time to crack open an ice-cold Budweiser on a hot day like today. Budweiser also is proud to continue a 15-year partnership with Folds of Honor. And it's always good to remember that Folds of Honor is an organization rooted in supporting military families in need. Service never stops, and neither will we. This year, proceeds from every 12-pack of Budweiser and Bud Zero sold go directly to Folds of Honor. By the way, got myself a 12-pack of Bud Zero recently. I thought, let's give Bud Zero a little try. See how that tastes. Tastes great. And it's also nice. I can pop a couple of Bud Zeros and hop in the car and go run some errands. Bud Zero, no alcohol. Budweiser is a great beer to kick back and enjoy the ball game. Budweiser is the king of beers, the delicious tradition. Budweiser, this Bud's for you.
Hello, fellow Missourians. This is your Congressman Bob Onder. My top priority is serving you. Whether you need help with a VA claim, Social Security, Medicare, or any other federal issue, my team and I are here to cut through the red tape and give you answers. In the last 6 months alone, we have returned over $1 million to taxpayers. Call my office or visit my website, onder.house.gov, to learn more. Missouri is my home, and I'm honored to serve you in D.C.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for BTO live in concert. Bachman Turner Overdrive with special guests April Wine and Zebra. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, August 30th, the Family Arena, a night of vintage BTO. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Bachman Turner Overdrive.
641. Here's Roger Brand with the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are looking good out there, Debbie. Just a little slow here and there. This traffic reports a service at Duke's Mayonnaise. If you're on northbound 270, let's call it approaching Doherty Ferry up to Ladou's heavy. South 270, midway down from Olive to Ladue, just a little slow. Eastbound 64, still bogged down McKnight to Big Bend. Westbound 64, McCausland to Hanley heavy. South 170, pretty slow from Brentwood to 64. North 55, barely busy between Bayless and Weber. And then downtown, westbound 64, west of 3rd Street to the Poplar. That's still crowded. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. Has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. I wish I would have learned more about how to manage money when I was a kid. And so as our kids head back to school this fall, you may actually be the best teacher when it comes to their financial education. Bankrate investing analyst James Royal joins us now with some tips. What do we see happen with people if they don't learn some of these money habits when they are young?
Yeah, the thing is, you have those. If you learn those money habits when you're young, you have them to fall back on. It's normalized for you when you're an adult. Hey, I saw my parents, save and invest or spend wisely. The thing is, a lot of people don't have that. In fact, this recent Bankrate survey said more than half of Americans, 54%, did not receive a strong financial education as children. So that's not something they can fall back on, or it might not feel quite as normalized to them. And so they didn't develop those skills when they were younger. And so it becomes you're an adult and you suddenly have to learn how to manage those personal finances.
Sometimes the hard way. Well, what are some of the first steps as far as teaching kids about money and investing?
Yeah, one of the most basic things is saving. We've all got to ultimately live below our means, and so really saving is a great place to begin. But if you're working with kids, you want to tie that saving to something that they care about. So it's not just saving for the sake of saving. It's saving for some goal that they have. Maybe that's a new bike, a video game, whatever it is. You tie that behavior to the outcome and help them build mastery. Suddenly they've got this skill. Hey, I want this thing. I need to save to be able to get it. And so setting that up so that they can have that goal that they can work toward is really valuable, and so that they can see the value of saving to get there.
Should kids have a savings account at a bank or credit union?
If you want to teach in particular how banks or interest works, you put the money into the account and it earns interest. That's valuable, and that's a sort of additional lesson here. But part of it is really just that behavioral component. And so the thing is, children, especially young children, might need the tangibility of that money. They need to see, hey, I have it right here, and I'm going to add to it every week or however often. And that tangibility helps them connect that with the goal that they're working to. They can see it grow, and they can see the progress toward that goal. But of course, for older kids, it may be helpful. You open up that custodial savings account or that high yield savings account online, and you can go back every month and check how much interest is there. And so that teaches that sort of additional lesson. If you put it in the institution, you can grow it, even if you're not immediately contributing to it.
What about teaching kids investment? How do we start that process of helping them learn about stocks?
Yeah, that's a really important thing for children to understand, and there's a number of ways that you can begin here. One is simply through games. That's a great way. That might be a stock market game or simulator, but it could really be an old classic like a Monopoly or Life, where the money component is really the money and investing components are really huge, or maybe something a little more contemporary, such as modern art, where you bid bid on artworks very much like a kind of stock game. Those are great ways, but if you kind of want to bring it even a little bit more closer, you work with the investments or work with your own investments and show your children how that works, what you're thinking about as you're investing, or even open that custodial stock account for the kid and provide a share or two of stock, in particular something that they might, a product or a company that they might be working with or consuming or engaged with on a daily basis, such as a restaurant, something like that. So they can sort of start to make that connection between, hey, I own a piece of this, and this is actually a product that I use, and just normalizing it in that kind of way.
James, are there any other tips that you can give parents as ways to get kids interested in their money management?
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of ways to begin here. I think really ultimately what you want to do here is get that saving and investing discipline started, because before you can invest, you've got to have that money to begin with. And that begins with the saving, right? Living below your means, and making and prioritizing what you want. So saving is really a great place for children of any age to get to, because they have to make those prioritizing decisions. Hey, I want this today, but that means I can't have this other thing that I want tomorrow but maybe next week. So getting to that saving and making that not something where helping them develop that mastery of that skill, and not being in a place where the parents are going to simply bail them out if they don't meet their savings goal or their budgeting goal. And that's one of the surest ways ultimately to destroy the savings discipline of the child, is ultimately saying, well, you don't have enough money, I'll pay for it, when it was their goal to meet. And so forcing them ultimately to deal with the trade-offs of any choices that they make in their financial lives. So that's a great lesson ultimately in developing that skill, normalizing it for the child, and then encouraging them to master it.
That is Bankrate investing analyst James Royal joining us this morning on KMOX. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
There's been a lot of talk about tariffs, how it's going to do this and it's going to destroy the economy. Prices are going to go up. Depending where you get your news from or your information from, it's going to make everything unaffordable and so on and so forth. Tariffs have absolutely zero effect on the heating and cooling equipment that we purchase. So don't be misled and fooled that if you're told that you have to buy something now because of tariffs, call me. That's the nicest thing I can say. Call me for a second opinion. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. There's only one. If you do not dial this number, it will be the wrong number. It is area code 314-293-2600. Again, easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the computer, bartinman.com. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100kindacts.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
It is 8:51. Total Information AM continues, and I'm Debbie Monterrey, joined by Kat Neville.
Hello.
Of Explore St. Louis. We love when there's great news about St. Louis, and we've been hearing all summer about tourism and how a lot of it is down across the country, and hotels have been struggling, but not the case in St. Louis.
Yeah. I mean, not the case. So that is accurate. U.S. hotels reported negative year-over-year comparisons. And this is from CoStar, which is a company that reports on hotel, occupancy. And it's rated by occupancy, obviously, but then also average daily rate and then revenue per available room. That's how hotels are kind of measured. But St. Louis reported the highest occupancy lift of plus 5.7%. So we were outpacing we're in the top 25 markets. We were outpacing the other top 25 markets during July. And it's just tremendous news. We ranked in the top 3 among the top 25 markets in the 6 of the last 8 weeks from a report in mid-July. And the importance of that, we might, people who are residents might be like, okay, that's the hotel industry. How does that impact me as a person living in St. Louis? It impacts the St. Louis region tremendously. We have almost 90,000 people in the St. Louis region, St. Louis City, County, on the east side, in St. Charles County, that are employed in the hospitality sector. So this is everything from people who are cleaning the rooms to people who are working in restaurants. So it is an incredibly important part of the economic picture of the St. Louis region. So when we're able to really kind of like mark those kinds of wins and that type of occupancy, all of that economic activity is directly impacting the St. Louis region.
Yeah, that's great because no one it's not like in a vacuum. You're just staying in a hotel and then that's it. You got to eat, you got to go somewhere, you got to get gas, you got to get snacks.
Yeah, you have to pay taxes. I mean, there's
Lots of taxes.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a mushroom effect when we are driving that hotel occupancy, and what's driving it are not just the kind of like day-to-day marketing that we do on behalf of St. Louis, but we and also the Regional Sports Authority, we were working to attract events and also, conventions and meetings and sporting competitions. All of these things are adding up. So during that period, for example, the Seventh-day Adventists were in town, which was
a huge event.
Huge. Roughly 50,000 people from across the globe came to St. Louis for a 9-day period. And they held their convention at the convention center, but they stayed in hotels throughout the entire St. Louis region. They ate in restaurants throughout the entire St. Louis region. And, there was also obviously the Meeting Professionals International. The Cardinals had a homestand. There were concerts going on. So every time you have these events that gather thousands of people, that has just a tremendous impact.
How did we do this summer? Is it easier or difficult to track the numbers of just families coming? Because I hear from people all the time who either they don't know anything about St. Louis, or they say, oh, we love to come to St. Louis with the family because there's so much to do and it's free.
It's really hard to track those types of individual people. We do have data. And one of the things that we're working on at Explore St. Louis under our new leadership with Brad Dean as our president is we're working on really expanding our opportunity to get rolling data on everything that's going on. So in the next 6 months to a year, I'm going to be able to come back and give you much more substantive information. So we don't know exactly how many families as opposed to individual travelers necessarily are coming over this past summer. But I can tell you that we do know that in general, it is more solo travelers than families that are coming. And most of these people actually are staying with friends and family. And so like people are coming in, they're staying, with their mother-in-law or, their sister. And, we have found that actually one of the top things that they like to do is, yes, go to sporting events, but also go shopping. So, yeah. A lot of folks are coming in town. I mean, so this is actually a report that was recently released, and we're kind of like just now diving into it. But yeah, so the typical traveler to St. Louis tends to be more solo or couples, even though we are obviously a tremendous family destination.
Well, we're glad that we beat the top 25 when it
Yes.
came to hotel stays for this summer. Kat Neville with Explore St. Louis. Always great to see you.
Good to see you too.
It is 8:56.
It's the largest increase for wholesale prices in 3 years. We're going to talk to Dave Simons about what that means for your wallet. We'll talk to Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, Major Garrett. Also, we need you to tell us what's the worst song ever. All of that is coming up on the Chris and Amy Show after the news on KMOX.
That baby's gone! Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the